All right, let's see.
We live.
All right. I'm old Axel,
Ye-
and I can see what you're talking about. It's a great layout.
yes. Glad to have you here. Pixel cardboard cutout of Axel Stone.
Yes,
Surprise! It's actually my good
and
friend,
so
Wrath of
funny.
Exodust, or Exodust rather, I guess. But
I'm the wrath of many things. We'll
the
leave it
Wrath
at
of
that.
many things. Sometimes Wrath 2X. If you just see him posting in the chat log of any of these streams I've done for the past several months. But yeah,
Yep. Good friend of Ark's. Ark is not very familiar with Streets of Rage as much as I am, so he asked
yeah.
me to co-stream with him,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm, I'm guessing we're gonna have a good time, eh?
Yeah. The whole point of this stream, or like I guess this first of two streams at minimum, I guess we'll say, is we're basically covering the original Streets of Rage trilogy. You know, the games that for the longest time people always thought were just the only ones until we got Streets of Rage 4. A game that I've actually not touched yet. I have installed on my computer courtesy of a mutual of ours who gifted the game to me when I just mentioned
Shout
offhand
out
that
to
I
the app.
haven't gotten around to buying it.
Yep. Shout out to the app.
And because of that, I was like, before I even touch Streets of Rage 4, I think it's only fair I get a better appreciation for what this series was back in its day. And you are the
Well,
biggest Streets of Rage fan that I am familiar with, and by extension, biggest old school beat 'em up fan I know. So it only made sense.
yeah, I would say to an extent I'm way more familiar with the genre than you are,
Yeah.
and I've played quite a few of them growing up, like back in the heyday. Like I even had the Double Dragons on NES. I got into this. I got into the Konami games. I used to go to the arcades. Ironically, Final Fight, which Streets of Rage is pretty obviously an answer to,
Mm-hmm.
are the ones I didn't play until way later in life. With
Yeah.
that said, Streets of Rage is absolutely my favorite beat 'em up series. It's probably top five Sega franchise for me, and Ark would know this. I'm a huge Sega mark,
Oh, yeah.
so
Well,
I
we're
mean,
huge marks for the good old days of Sega, even though my particular context from it is from looking back on it after, like, just not being old enough to appreciate it at the time.
yeah. But with that said, it's good shit. Like you got Adam Hunter, you got Blaze Fielding, you got my boy Axel. I mean me, I'm Axel. I'm totally not named after the Guns N' Roses frontman. Anyway.
True. So I think it's only fair we get this started right now, and also because whenever I do evening streams, I keep myself to like a roughly 3 hour limit. I think 1 hour per game roughly is more than enough to kind of to
Uh,
demonstrate.
It absolutely is doable. Like I
Hmm.
wouldn't call any of these games hard games so much as like normal for the time. So tougher
Yeah.
than what you'd usually play nowadays, but
Well, yeah, but we
still
also, of course, have an
manageable.
easy difficulty on top of that if we want to ensure we get the farthest possible.
Hey, if you want to go for it, go for it. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna hate on you.
yeah. So, okay, let's
Uh,
see.
there's something I'm trying to recall though. Give me a second.
All
Streets
right.
of Rage 1, easy mode. I think it might. No, I don't. Easy mode finale. Like I think you don't get that real ending with easy mode. I think it's one of those games, but it's been a minute.
Oh,
They,
oh, right. I remember. Yeah, because I read like somewhere that there was like a player determined thing that you can do that like affects the ending right near the end.
oh no, that's just Streets of Rage 3. I think I'm getting my wires
Oh,
crossed. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So yeah, I think this is the ideal setup I'll go with, especially because I'm playing this right here on a arcade stick. Just because like I've had this thing in my closet for a while since getting it out of storage, and it's been a while. And I got everything arranged properly so that it's like my index or middle finger isn't going to be anywhere near the special attack button, which we want to save for desperate situations.
Yeah, it's more of a defensive maneuver.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, like, oh, you're swamped, there's a lot of enemies. hear him out, that type of thing. It's like old arcade sensibilities.
Yeah. So there we go. Obviously, we are not here in person. We're obviously separated by, like, literally on opposite ends of the world in terms of time zones. So, you know, 2-player, not a possibility, but 1 will be fine. So there we go. We got Adam, Axel, Blaze. Like, obviously, everyone knows Axel. I messed around with Blaze some during some practice runs, but I'm tempted to try Adam just because, as far as what I've looked ahead at all 3 games, unless I'm missing something from Streets of Rage 3, like if it's an unlockable or something, but I believe this is the only game where Adam is officially playable. I know he's missing in 2.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. He's available here, but he won't be available again until Streets of Rage 4.
Oh yeah, wow. They really put this dude on the back burner after just 1 game.
Hey man, his brother fit in with the edgy 90s more.
Yeah.
You'll see him later.
Oh god, yeah. It's gonna be great once we get to see Skate. Okay.
Alrighty.
But yeah, we'll go with Adam. I figured at least with all these games, and even if we have to do some, like, starting over due to game overs, it might be good to show off as many characters. Oh no, look who's here. Look who's here in the chat. Old McDucky swag.
Oh, good old Guggen.
Yep.
I hope I pronounced it right so he doesn't make fun of me and
Yeah.
take away my brown card.
Yeah, although, oh god, oh dear, something screwed up. Oh god, we're already getting some scuff. Just a second. Okay, hold on a sec. Is the chat? Oh my god, I think I just realized something. I forgot to move the chat box over to the new overlay. Just a second, I gotta... Where is it? Alright, emergency.
Oh, I got it clean. Thanks, Guggen.
There we go. It's not the correct size, but it's good enough. God damn it.
Alrighty.
I should have known I was missing something when I just remade this entire scene in OBS with, like, some of the new assets. Okay, but...
Alright, but to be fair, silence and gags is probably for the best, but I'll let her off.
Yeah, whatever. But then again, it's like, I don't know. I put all these VODs up on YouTube anyway. We gotta have people, like, to know, like who this Halo addicted fiend is.
Yes. Who this ancient evil.
Yeah.
Anyway.
The man's been denied his fix for so many years. He's finally getting all that he can before the year's end.
Yeah.
So there we go. We're back in it.
Good old Yellow Jacket.
Yep. And now, obviously, one of my favorite things about, from what little I played of the games, is just the stuff you can do with grabs. Just being able to just go all the way around to their backside and do a suplex.
Ah, it's always fun, man. Gotta give him the German.
Yep. Okay. Ah. Hold on. Let me go. There we go.
Yep. So the oldest, most popular technique playing these games for any kid was you can learn the rhythm to kind of stun an enemy a little bit by just doing the first hit over and over and over again.
And the thing that's especially nice is that, like, another thing I did, like, in the lead up to this stream was back on Saturday. I played through is, I guess, inaccurate because I plan to still do more of it in the future, but I did play Spike Out Battle Street, give that game its time to shine for the internet to see. And it is, like, it is the sort of thing where, like, having played that, even when it's a 3D game, a lot of the Streets of Rage fundamentals, like how grabs work, kind of like good strategies for, you know, setting enemies up for those kind of grabs, carries over across dimensions.
Yeah, like, there's a lot of, like, Streets of Rage philosophy has arrived in a lot of different 3D games. There's a lot of them were supposed to be Streets of Rage at one point, I want to say.
Yeah.
By the way, I see a guy based Dolph Ziggler. Yeah, fuck you too. Anyway, so when it comes, there was like that Fighting Force game that was on the PlayStation 1 and Saturn. And I played as a kid, but don't really think much of. But at one point, it was supposed to be Streets of Rage 4.
Oh, yeah.
For whatever reason, they decided not to. The Dreamcast almost had a Streets of Rage 4 that can find test footage for online. And I don't know if it's the case, but it wouldn't surprise me if stuff like Spike Out and whatever.
Oh yeah.
Would have just taken whatever skeleton was left off of that.
Yeah, that like I would not be surprised if like part of the inspiration, like the early ideas for Spike Out was that Nogoshi was like wanting to pitch 3D Streets of Rage. But there's obviously more to it, because one thing I remember is how he always talked about that he wanted to have Spike Out designed as an arcade game where you could basically play it for as long as you wanted if you were good. Like, take the concept of how already lost the first life. Shoot, whatever, we're back in it. But kind of like how, you know, when you were playing like a fighting game in the arcades, you know, the winner stays on the cabinet. The idea just being like, what if like that was translated to like a single player beat 'em up concept, where it's just like you keep doing a good job of beating up all the foes that come your way. That's enough to stay on. Problem is, as you can imagine, that's like gets into conflict with literally any arcade operator ever. Ooh, nice shoulder toss.
Now you get Freddy Krueger, I think. Is it?
No, not yet. This is just a weird dude with a boomerang.
Yeah, like, here's the odd thing about Streets of Rage 1. It's easily the one I played the most as a kid, because it's the one I owned until... I got Streets of Rage 2 with a 6-pack, I want to say. Remember that Sega 6-pack?
I remember hearing things about it, yeah.
Yeah, like, that's how I played Revenge of Shinobi and a bunch of other stuff.
Nice.
But, Streets of Rage 2 is the one I'd play the most of. Beyond that, like, I played it a bunch as a kid, but I ended up playing it more as a teen and adult because it was my favorite one. Streets of Rage 3, we only had the Japanese version. And my cousin had it, so I used to play it with him. I recall that, like, a long time ago.
Yeah, which, by the way, for people who may be curious once we get to it, yes, we are playing the Japanese version. When you see it, it will say Bare Knuckle 3. Like, where... Yeah. Like, fuck stupid regional differences in difficulty.
So what Ark is telling you is that he's a coward. That's neither here nor there. When it comes to Streets of Rage 3, it's kind of, there's so much changes. Like, out of all the series, the entire series, Streets of Rage 3 had the most changes when it came to localization.
Yeah.
Understandable. Like, there's a specific character who's essentially a stereotype.
Yes.
You can see them not wanting to have, even though I think he's a reference to a Japanese pro wrestler.
Yeah.
On that.
Yeah, I recall that was actually the farthest I got in my test run of 3, where I was like, I think it was like one of like the first major bosses in the first stage, and when I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, I could see how like this would not have played either back then and especially not now.
Yeah, it would be looked at very, very differently.
Yeah, like...
I think if you've been on the internet in 2008 or whatever, you'll know which character he's clearly a reference to, but yeah, not exactly something that would translate well then, going to conservative American families.
or anyone that cares about, you know, the spread of harmful stereotypes.
Yeah, like, it's an odd one for sure. Like, Streets of Rage 4 had, like, a slight reference to him, which I found normal, but...
More tasteful.
The character wasn't in it either. Yeah.
There we go. We're keeping going. We got a trusty pipe. Get your Mike Hagar references out, I guess.
I mean, I don't see any pile drivers, so I'm not gonna make them.
Yeah, I guess not yet. That's true.
But yeah, like this game is still a really, really good game. It's way simpler than Streets of Rage 2. Like Streets of Rage 2 was the blow up, so to speak. But I always appreciated this game more than 3. Maybe it's part nostalgia. Maybe it's because I played it as my first one and used to play it all the time. But it's one of those cool, simple type of games. It's like playing Super Mario Brothers 1 almost.
Yeah.
Way simpler than what came afterwards. It's still a fun, decent game, and you get the gist.
Yep. And now we got like this clown enemy right here. juggling
I
tomahawks.
used to hate this guy when I was a kid.
Yeah, and it's funny too, just kind of going back to Spike Out and how it definitely felt like it was one of those attempts at like a 3D Streets of Rage. That is also a game where just like its rogues gallery, it taps into the exact same level of just like bizarro freaks that could just like come at you. But yeah, here's the one you were talking about, the Freddy Krueger looking motherfucker.
Yes, there it is. Yeah, gotta love when video games had rather obvious, we'll call them references.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
Yeah, unless you were something like Revenge of Shinobi, where it went beyond obvious reference to straight up plagiarism.
Oh yeah, like I know Orson Welles is famous for shitting on the homage, but I kind of like any of these older games.
Yeah,
like a fun collection of what pop culture was at the time.
For sure. Yeah.
Like, if you're playing a video game on the Genesis and there isn't an Alien, Blade Runner, or Terminator reference, then you're not really playing a video game on the Genesis.
Yeah, but also like if you're playing a Genesis game and it is not doing some crazy multi-sprite ball like scaling to represent multiple limbs, is it really a Genesis game?
That could be a Genesis game, but not a treasure game.
Fair. Yes. I guess that ultimately is more of Treasure's calling card. Though I recall Konami as well doing some bits of that as well, you know?
Yeah, you got him. You got this.
Yeah. I'm trying to do as much as I can without calling for support just yet. Actually, no, you know what? Might as well, because I just remembered that even when you use it, they do give you one stock. They make sure you have one at the start every time.
Yeah, you might as well keep it for bosses.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, you did it.
Yo. Very,
there's one thing I do want to talk about. It's the oddest thing because I found out way later, like almost 3 years ago. There's a movie nobody watched in America, but it's American. But for some reason, was huge in Japan. And it's a huge influence on both Final Fight and this game.
Really?
Both Streets of Fire. The main character is called Cody, and it's Adept at Knives. and it doesn't have a lot of like beat 'em up. Well, beat 'em ups have like a lot of like disparate influences. You talked about this earlier, but
yeah,
like for some reason that movie, which was huge in Japan and nowhere else, its aesthetic is completely tied to two of the biggest beat 'em up IPs. It became beat 'em up tropes more so than the movie when it came to the West. And like even like Blaze's wearing red is based on the main love interest in that movie.
Wow.
And the movie is not, I don't want to call it great. It's interesting. Directed by Walter Hill, the same guy who directed The Warriors. But it's not as good as The Warriors. So
yeah, and The Warriors, when I think of that, I also just think of just how, like, aesthetically, tonally, that could be, I can see how, like, bits of it could be, like, potential influences for a lot of beat-em-ups from this time. Also, just want to say, thanks, Bentar, for the host. Bentar's, like, another VTuber I know, helping out as best he can with, like, with getting the stream some attention as I get as close as I can, or just get my way to affiliate before the end of the month.
So VTubers, look out for other VTubers. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, one last thing I'll say about the movie. It's a fun watch, especially if you like 80s movies in general, and has Willem Dafoe in it, dressed up like a greaser.
Okay, already sold.
Yeah. One of his, like, I don't want to say earlier roles, but one of the ones before he became like a recognizable guy.
Yeah.
But he's like the main villain in it, and he's fun to watch as always.
Okay. It just feels nice, like even in this simplicity, like you saw with that encounter, how it's like just being able to, like, at a moment's notice go to like different types of moves, you know, combos, jumping attack, grab someone when they're in a stun animation and do a suplex. Like that's the part that most surprised me, because obviously, like, you talked a lot about, like, your love for beat 'em ups, and I think I've mentioned this before, like, either on stream, but, like, definitely with you when talking about it. But My favorite 2D beat 'em up, unsurprisingly given my Treasure fanboyism, is Guardian Heroes. And a big part of that, for like the longest time, had always been that it was a lane-based movement system. Like you had 3 lanes, and instead of like moving up and down like with precision like you do here, you basically hopped between 3 different lanes on the 2D plane, which I found was very helpful. Yeah, like it was very helpful in my eyes for being able to properly line up attacks, which is something that I thought was like kind of a problem I had with other beat 'em ups that were like, admittedly, not Streets of Rage, because I didn't really have experience with that at the time. It was more like just trying random like Capcom stuff, you know, like Final Fight and all the others. But I found just like even in some of these encounters, like the issue of like attacks being missed because I'm not lined up properly, I'm realizing is not bothering me nearly as much as it did for many of those other games.
Yeah, because the game is way simpler. It will become something. How do I put this? It becomes something you get more and more used to the more you play a genre. It's one of those type of things.
Yeah.
All right, you got like 3 continues, so you can continue.
Oh.
D, continue. I think you can, yeah. It'll ask you to choose a character and stuff.
Okay, well, it's giving me the name entry, and I'm just trying to, for consistency's sake, get my proper initials.
Right.
Yeah, it's just being a bit finicky right now with the D-pad selection, even though I'm using a stick. It's still digital anyway.
Yeah. Well,
oh wait, no, I see what it's actually doing. That is bizarre. Okay, so it's like if I press A, it goes back to the first letter.
Yeah.
If B, it goes forward. That is bizarre. I have never seen like a name input system for an arcade game, or at least arcade style game I recall ever doing anything like that.
3-button controllers give people wild ideas.
Yeah.
So let's see. Can you be the ultimate warrior?
Hopefully.
I think.
There we go. Okay, continue just like as you go back as like the character you started as. That's fine.
Yeah, I think in 2 is when you can choose.
Right. Well, again, that's all the more reason why I'm glad we chose Adam for this one, for this game.
Yeah, might as well give Adam some shine, because he
Yeah.
went for 20 years without any shine.
Yeah, that is so true. And it's like, can you blame them considering how great Axel is? Or how cool Blaze is? Like all these 3 characters are just like, they're very defining.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, the main reason they chose to add like Kate is Ayane Koshiro. I think that's her name, yeah, Ayane Koshiro, who's Yuzo Koshiro's sister, and by the way, the main artist on these games.
Okay.
Ancient is kind of a cottage industry, I think. Their mom owns a company, he makes the music, she draws the fights and everything. So
I guess I shouldn't be surprised that they have these quirks, considering Yuzo, after all these years, still uses the same synthesizer setup that he's had. You know? Like,
yeah,
this is calling card.
Man with young ones can't outgrow it. It's like when you pick an electric guitar in the 80s and keep trying to play it in the 2020s. Most people are off that now.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I guess in that case, yeah, it's like, it is basically like that. Those synthesizers are to Yuzo what like the Rickenbacker bass was to Lemmy, you know, or
pretty much.
Yeah, or Brian May's guitar.
Yeah, like, hey man, it is what it is.
Absolutely.
Like the man listened to house music in Japan was like, I'm never leaving this ever.
Yeah. All right, come on. That needs to be a bit clearer on the mic. That's. Hold on, I'm gonna double check something because I'm hearing him pretty well and he's like turning out just fine. But I don't know if that might. I actually don't know if that might be something that could be resolved through audio as much as it is just I was warned ahead of time that this was kind of all you had as far as a microphone to work with.
Yeah, all I have is this MacBook, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how much clearer I can be.
Oh well.
Maybe it's my voice. I don't know. Maybe Gags is like, he's trying to neg me right now.
Yeah, he's just trying to fuck with you or something.
But no, like I know, dude. not much I can do. I don't really have a mic or anything.
Yeah.
So I'll try to sound as clear as possible.
Or worst comes to worst, it's more muffled in comparison to your voice. It is probably the mic. Well, yeah. I mean, again, it's using a built-in MacBook mic. I literally have a blue snowball on a microphone arm mounted to my desk. Like, the quality difference shouldn't be surprising, but then again, it's, you know, I didn't want to pass up this opportunity to get you on this for a game series you love.
Yeah, no worries, man. Like, I'm glad Gags can enjoy what little he can of my voice until he plays Halo for the 20th night so far.
Yeah, continuing to be a toxic asshole, teabagging all these poor children that are experiencing it for the first time.
To be fair to Gags, the children deserve it.
True, yeah. They're probably some Gen Z fucks who thinks that it's just another Fortnite. Giving those kids the gift. Ooh. Gift of these nuts.
I don't think you should admit that publicly, man. It's not gonna end well for you. The wrong people here.
Hey, I can read these out all I want, as long as like I have the chat log on screen to back up that I'm clearly reading it, and those aren't my words or opinions. Those are clearly his. Direct all your complaints at Gags, as always.
Well, Gags, you are 60. It's bound to happen eventually.
Yeah.
But yeah, like this specific track has always been one of my favorites.
Yeah, this feels like this is definitely, I think, my favorite that I've heard of all the tracks in Streets of Rage 1. It's got a very nice quality to it that, like, it's funny, this game came out in 91, but this just feels like late 80s neon night driving kind of music. Like, that's the vibe that it gives me so much.
Oh, it absolutely does. It kind of helps that synthwave kind of took off again, like around the time of Hotline Miami. It's all over online, so it has a similar vibe. Doesn't feel too dated, I guess, for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But one thing I do want to talk about is people love, like, it's a famous YouTube subgenre whenever you talk about this game is the plagiarism allegations.
Oh God, yeah.
Koshiro. And there's one thing I just want to say about it. Plagiarists are not. The man is emulating a DJ. DJs take tracks all the time that basically sample the fuck out of everything.
Yeah.
So it's an easier thing for me to separate. Like, oh, he listened to some hot tracks in the club in Tokyo or wherever he lives. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna take a bit of this, a bit of that, and add it in, and it worked out.
Yeah. And at least with DJs back then, you could at least, like, especially if it were like in a live context, you could at least say that, you know, they go through the effort of like actually triggering like all like the different like music cues and like sound effects that go into like whatever mix they're doing. You already have a problem of like DJs even today in a live context, they just have it play automatically on a laptop and just act like that they're manipulating it.
I mean, yeah, there's programs where you can manipulate on a laptop, but otherwise, like, my point is essentially, hey man, the entire genre is built on sampling. Kind of hard to draw the line anywhere.
Oh man, I am especially terrible at like dealing with this with this particular boss. This guy, this variation of this type of enemy is always going to be the toughest in Streets of Rage 1. Yeah.
In Streets of Rage 2, at the very least, there's more spacing to what you get. I can pull it off. Here, always gonna be kind of off because you don't have your own defensive special. You don't have your own melee, so like that can overpower anything.
Yeah.
That's for the cop part.
Plus, what I was talking about earlier, where like the game does a good job of making you feel like you're not losing like track of like where you're. Oh yeah, that's right. With the very big enemies, you actually cannot suplex them because it just causes you to fall on your back and take damage.
And causes you damage, yeah, like shit.
But yeah, it's the sort of thing where it's like, because of their movement patterns, that's actually where my original problem with trying to line up attacks in old beat-em-ups becomes most evident. On top of what you described with the lack of like proper spacing and defense tools.
Yeah, like thankfully the game is simple enough where it's all understandable. You can deal with it as it comes. But yeah, like there's not much you can do. It's a Sega Genesis game. They're usually what 40 minutes long if you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a bit more difficult. The rental market, blah 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 blah. You can go on all the entire list. As much as you know, people love to act like the fact that the rental market existed in the 90s suddenly means games can't be difficult anymore.
Yeah, something like that. Break the rest of these. Come on. Line it up, or is it just the... No.
I don't know if you can.
I guess it is only those two that were on the right. Okay.
Yeah, like I said, it's been a minute. Like, the most I remember of this game is the beach, the first level, and the last level. Last level I remember very vividly somehow.
Yeah.
Mostly because of my girls Mona and Lisa. So you're gonna see later. One of my favorite palette swaps in gaming.
Oh yes, I'm looking forward to that. Oh no, I'm an idiot. I accidentally just pressed. Oh man. Again, this is why I gotta keep only my middle and index fingers out when I'm playing this. That C button is easy to press.
Yeah, well, it was a green Galcia, so it's one of the tougher ones.
Yeah. Well, again, like, there's always still a chance that even with the continues we have, that, like, I could have, you know, like, I could still use them all up before I reach the final level, but, which, you know, if that comes to that, we'll just play a little bit more if there's enough time left, but, like, demonstrate another character. Just because, you know, it's, like, there's some slight difference in move animations, especially for, like the back attacks, as it were, or, like, the... I guess back attack isn't entirely accurate because it's only for, like, certain ones, but it's when you press both the attack and jump buttons at the same time. That counts as its own input.
Which, hey, I'm not gonna hate on too much, but I kind of never liked having.
Oh.
Like, the back attacks are useful, and if you can apply them well, they're great. But I always just like having to press both of them at the same time when I was a kid.
Yeah. I think it's the sort of thing where it's like, for me, because like what Adam has specifically, it's not a, it's kind of a back attack, but like it also counts as like a jump that is more or less the same as like if you were to just press jump then like attack at the same time, which that makes it seem way more practical, obviously, but whereas like Blaze's back attack, for instance, I thought was like much more immediate and practical because you don't have that jump that like precedes it.
Oh yeah, and Axel's like I remember it vividly, the fist to the back. It takes a little bit, but it's supposed to be very powerful.
There we
go. For it. Ah, I got it.
Nice. The game's this fairy has been got a palette swap already.
Yeah, enjoy Ultimate Warrior.
Ultimate Warrior number 2.
Yeah, I forgot what his name was. I think it's Abday, which is supposed to be like a Bobo. Like a pretty obvious like equivalent to a Bobo, but hey, he looked like the warrior. I was a warrior mark as a kid and I liked him more.
Yeah. Also, it felt pretty good realizing that strat of just, you know, walk into the foreground or background when he charges and then just punish him accordingly.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, if I remember correctly, the fat fire guy, you're supposed to avoid him and then follow him to where he's about to stop and hit him there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just that you get kind of fooled a little bit with the with some of the earlier bosses where they go like in a ring pattern around the perimeter, which makes them very easy to intercept every time.
Yep.
But yeah,
a
it's
lot
just
of old beat 'em ups is basically the Wayne Gretzky quote, or for some the Michael Scott quote. Gotta be where the puck is gonna be, or is that? Nah, I made a mistake. What was it? That one was you missed 100% of the shots you don't take. That
right.
I think that was another Wayne Gretzky quote. I'm not a hockey guy,
Well, yeah.
You can't hate on me for that.
I mean, I go further beyond that and just be like, I'm not even a sports guy.
Sadly, I am, so I need to learn how hockey works, but there's no such thing as ice where I'm at, so it is what it is.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, as you can tell, this is pretty much the gauntlet.
Still, it's still proven fairly satisfying, even in the simplicity compared to what later entries offer. Like, it's just a good flow. Just like, it's no surprise every time that I just love to get these suplexes every time, because unsurprisingly, that's also just a strategy that works very well whenever you play spike outs. You know, you grab an enemy, it is like, especially depending on the character, it's advantageous to do a back throw, because what the back throw is, it's not a German suplex, but it's more like, specifically with the main character Spike, it's like you just punch them in the back and send them flying in whatever direction you're pressing with the stick. So
there they are.
Oh yes. Oh, okay. I'm remembering these two now. You got two life bars.
And Lisa. Mona and Lisa, aka Two Blade Fielding.
Alright.
Yeah, they bring them back in Streets of Rage 3 with actual designs this time.
That's cool. Nice. Yeah. Though obviously they're pretty hard to hit reliably because of the jumping. You just gotta find the right opening. Well, whatever. Maybe this will stun them long enough for me to get in range and just, like, punch one of them to death.
Damn. How about domestic abuse now? Anyway.
Oh. Yeah, what were we talking about? Who getting canceled?
Everybody's getting canceled on this stream, man. Nobody's safe. But anyway.
Okay, at least... Oh, man. Yeah, it is ridiculous.
Yeah, no. I think you can call these two the toughest challenge in the game and be fine. Like,
yeah, I mean, I got another stock. I might as well.
Like, if I remember correctly, Mr. X is fucking annoying, but...
Oof. Oh!
Yeah. Oh, she gave you the dragon suplex, though. So.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. You know, just do this.
Hey, I'm glad you figured out the strat. You're gonna need it. They come back.
Oh dear. Oh dear, indeed.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, the back attack also has a wider hitbox.
Yeah, that would make sense, because it is the sort of thing where if you're in a situation where you're being surrounded, that's where, like, it's intended to be valuable. But sometimes, as you can see here, it's also very good if you're just tired of a boss's bullshit and are just gonna, like, goad them into a hit when your back is turned.
Alright, time for this banger.
Yeah.
Alright, enjoy learning the layout of how Streets of Rage usually works. You start on the street, end up at a beach at some point, go to an industrial facility, and then a big opulent place.
Yep. And obviously the big facility right here, which is like showing we're getting close to the main villain's base of operations.
Yep. As you take down not Dante's.
Gotta say, as someone that normally like prefers to like play these like old games, like if not on the original hardware, then at least like on a console that I have modded to run emulators like my Wii. But like it's at least from a technical standpoint, it has been going very well, all things considered, just running this on the emulator on my PC. Oh man,
It's working just fine in my eyes.
Yeah. Let's see.
Oh, you have one more continue, right?
Hopefully.
Yeah, because I remember you doing this twice. Yeah, you have
Right.
more control.
Okay.
I think, yeah, you can make it.
Oh, right. This, yeah. I think it's like, gotta try it this way. Yeah, because just they change up that particular enemy,
yeah.
so just simply punching her just makes her get on the ground and be like, "Oh, I give up." Ha! Surprise! Whip you.
Yeah, she'll pull a bad girl. That's essentially what she'll do.
Yeah, though without the instant KO part.
Watch out, by the way.
Yeah. Man, nothing like nothing has I think I've ever burned into my brain nearly as fast as when I played No More Heroes 1 and got to Bad Girl and fell for that fucking trick the first time. And when that happened, I was like, I immediately caught on to what the trick was, and never again did I fall for it. Like, within the same night.
Yep.
From the thumbnail, I thought Axel was your co-streamer tonight. Well, this is the best we could get.
Yeah, I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
Ah, damn, again, the freaking button.
Oh. Oh, well. You don't need the cops.
Yeah, fuck cops after all. We technically left the cops because they wouldn't do anything about this problem of, like, hooligans causing trouble in the streets. So it's like, just only the three of us are fine. We're gonna turn in our badge and fight them on their own terms, i.e. beat the shit out of everyone and have them rack up hospital bills.
Oh, there's your boy.
Oh god, this is that fuck again. Okay, come on. Oh!
Yep.
Oh! Damn it. Yeah, it's like I gotta be above him.
A bit above him. Yeah, a bit above him.
Ah, come on. Oh, man. Just the amount of time it takes to get back up, of all things. Screw it.
Yeah, fire with fire.
Yeah. Still all the more silly when you think about it in this game, like the... Holy shit, that didn't kill him?
What? When I told you he's the worst in this game.
Oh, yeah. In fact, it's funny. I think, like, even like the first time I played Streets of Rage 1 in any sort was actually on that Genesis like collection that like came out on Switch. I remember you convincing me to get that, especially as like an idea where it's like I would play the beat 'em ups you recommended if you played the treasure games that were on them. And I think, yeah, like when I got to the first encounter with the fire breathing dude, that was absolutely, I think, the farthest I got, because I was like, man, that dude is rough.
Yep.
Okay.
Definitely figured it out, even though this guy was gunning for you with a knife.
Yeah.
Good job. Everybody complains about the knife, Celsius. So.
Yeah. And even when you do get the knife, that doesn't give you the immediate advantage, because all it takes is one punch to make you drop it.
Yep.
All right. Okay.
Alright. Let's see. Will you make it?
I think I might.
Yep. Also, I think if you make enough points, you get another life anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely is a system of, like, getting more lives based on points. Though I don't remember off the top of my head what the threshold is each time.
I remember Streets of Rage 4 is mostly because I've been playing a lot recently. Like, for that, it's 8,000, I think.
Okay. Alright, just keep this loop going. Yo! Double punch. Grab. Unsurprisingly, double punch is similarly the safest way to get a grab going in Spike Out. Nagoshi knew what was good. Yep.
I think maybe too far away. Oh no, there's nothing.
Yeah, nothing. It's a shame that those crushers don't hit the enemies.
I think they do. She just missed the window.
Just like too far away. Ah, damn it. I think that was the game over.
Yeah, that was game over.
Yeah. So where are we at? We're like 48 minutes and Yeah, I think I will, at the very least, show off like one of the characters. I guess it will be like Axel or Blaze. They're both still going to be in the future games anyway, so...
like, you can still keep going with Adam, but if you want to go Blaze, I'd say so, because Axel really becomes that guy in Streets of Rage 2. I think Axel's, like, known as the guy in Streets of Rage 2.
Oh, yeah.
Not so much in 4, but I'll still play him anyway.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I don't like Blaze, just, again, from what I had, like, practiced, just making sure...
what Blaze likes? Lambada.
She likes being a bottom? Or she likes bottom?
No, Lambada.
Okay. Okay, I will admit, that was like the first time where I think your mic quality actually made me mishear something, so I can kind of understand.
Yeah, the reason I say that is there's like, I think Streets of Rage 2 has like a like thing, where, Axel likes video games.
Yeah, this game has that too, like in the pre-title screen sequence where it gives like a brief bio.
To be fair to you, in your gutter-ass mind, going for the dirtiest option possible.
Hey, I'm a VTuber. Part of a prerequisite for that is to just have a gutter mind.
Yeah, but nobody says the lambada in casual conversation often, so I don't blame you for like what?
Yeah. Yeah. That's fair. Like, that's entirely on me. Okay.
Like, there's like a bit of odd trivia about all the characters. Like, Blaze is like half Japanese. Axel likes video games and karate.
Yeah.
Like good old, like, you can tell when they made him when they're like, oh, American guy.
Yeah. That's tough male blonde guy.
Basically. And hey, they nailed it in my opinion. Like, Axel's probably my favorite beat-em-up character.
Yeah, he's cool. Absolutely. I still obviously remember him most from, weirdly enough, Project Cross Zone 2, because that was, he was the sole representative for Streets of Rage in that game.
I never played those games, and every time I look at it, I'm like, I probably never will, but they're so odd.
Yeah.
The only time you can see John McClane talk to a second character.
Yeah, Bruno Dellinger, along with the main character of Zombie Revenge.
Yeah. Oh, Zombie Revenge. Now that's a fun beat 'em up. That's a fun
yeah. Yeah, one day, man. One day when I get that GDEMU or whatever ODE for my Dreamcast and all the necessary stuff, like, Dreamcast games on real hardware is going to happen on this stream.
Hell yeah. Dreamcast, a console that can never be overrated because it can never be overstated how good it was. Yeah,
and especially didn't have enough time to be alive and relevant that it could become overrated. It's loved because, like, it was so amazing, yet tragically short-lived.
Yeah, I gotta love it when people call a known flop overrated just because they thought people love it online.
True. Yeah, Blaze is pretty good. One thing I like demonstrated as well at times, assuming I can get the meat. There we go. But yeah, she still has like the same flip over the suplex, but more than that, like again, like I like her back attack so much more, even if it is not getting the best demonstration with everyone not staying behind me. But it's so much faster just because of it not requiring you to, like, do that jump followed by the kick like Adam does.
Plus, a lot of range. Now, boomerang guy.
Okay. Ow. That was not the best range for that.
Yeah.
Okay, come on. Go. All right. Yeah, and I think like once we just kind of like show off finishing up this level as Blaze, we can use that as a cue to switch over to Streets of Rage 2, because I'm definitely feeling the excitement to get to that.
Hell yeah, the best beat 'em up ever made, some would say.
I'll still reserve that claim for Guardian Heroes from my perspective, but opinions.
Yep.
Yep, so that's Streets of Rage 1. Simple, but still innately satisfying in a lot of ways.
Yep. The Super Mario Brothers 1.
Very much so. Which means we're going to basically, I guess that would make to the Super Mario Bros. 3 of the original series.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah, I'd say that makes sense.
The glow up is gonna be insane considering this is on the same console.
Oh yeah.
And it doesn't have an arcade version. It just looks this way and it's made for the Genesis.
Yeah.
Just a hell of an improvement.
Wait, hold on. Streets of Rage 1 actually got an arcade version alongside the Genesis? I thought it was always just Genesis only.
Oh no, it is Genesis only, but it had like one of those arcade boxes that are basically just the Genesis. Where you can play
Oh,
Genesis
yeah,
games on them.
okay. Yeah, they still had the full arcade mentality, even at home.
Yeah, the best way to put it is Streets of Rage is not an arcade series, even though it's an arcade genre. In an
Yep.
arcade genre. Yep.
All right.
Alrighty.
Let's get that loaded up. Ah, Sega.
Time for the King of Kings.
Mm-hmm. So let's just assume that we did beat Mr. X the first time.
Sure.
Yeah. It's all 1 year later.
And we didn't choose to be Mr. X, which is the ending you can choose in the first one. The new
Yeah.
Mr. X.
And I believe that also, is affected based on, if you're playing two-player. Like, if one player makes the decision to become Mr. X, the other player has to fight them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah. Neat.
Yeah,
really neat.
like I read that, and I thought that was, a very cool, alternate take on what always felt like the other traditional beat-em-up thing, where it was, especially if it was something in the vein of Double Dragon, where the goal was, save the girl. And then at the end, it's thanks for saving me. Now fight for my affection. And then you just beat each other up and to decide which one gets to have some pussy.
Yeah, I think it's very clearly a reference to that. Also, one little Double Dragon aside, I found out recently that the River Cities Girls 2 game has it has that one chick with big abs.
Yeah.
It's the girl in Double Dragon. The one that gets punched in the gut in the very beginning.
Seriously, that's fucking Marion?
Yep, that's Marion.
Oh my god. Wow.
Yeah, man, this girl's I'm not getting punched in the gut ever again. Just got ass.
Man, I guess I need to play River City Gals.
Oh no, the first one's really, really good.
Nice.
It's a really decent game.
Yeah. Anyway, this is... Obviously, I've not started playing yet. This is only the track demo, but you're already seeing what Wrath was talking about. Look at this glow-up.
Yeah, better sprites, better settings. Everything just looks like a bigger game.
Yeah.
Streets of Rage 1 could pass off as an NES game with more color. In a way, but not really. It's almost like it can fit on the Master System. This, not so much.
Mm-hmm. And it's still, obviously, this came out in 92, so this still predates, when the Sega introduced the 6-button controller, which, that's going to be an interesting one, because when looking things up, yes, indeed, Streets of Rage 3 does have support for it. Which I imagine is quite interesting as far as, having that as an option if you don't want to deal with, multiple button inputs at the same time to get different moves, which... I'm of two minds of that just because I like Virtua Fighter, and that's been a series that has always been built around the idea of maximizing everything you can do with just 3 discrete buttons.
Exactly. And that's why, the command input for this game, right? There's a command input, a universal one for every character.
I recall seeing that, but I don't recall off the top of my head what the...
It's very simple. It's just forward, attack button.
Right, okay, now I'm remembering. Okay, it's just making sure that the settings have saved. Okay, 5 player count, so we have many continues. So, obviously, with what you've said, we're obviously starting with Axel, but just take a look at, like, all these other characters we got, you know? Axel's back, same for Blaze. Adam is missing, but we got his younger brother, Skates. And, and this big, hulking beast of a man known as Max.
Yep, everybody loves Max.
Mm-hmm. And way more stats this time, you know? So, like, a bit more granularity this time across all the characters, which I think, like, I guess depending on if we use up all our continues or something and want to show another character, that would be a definitely good time to also just demonstrate how much more things are expanded. Because we already saw, like, what Adam and Blaze looked like in 1. They basically had all the same style of moves, with the exception of their back attack having very different animations.
Well, here you got Axel, you got a heavy grappler in Max, you got a quick character in Skate, and Blaze is supposed to be the balanced character, if I recall correctly.
Yeah. Also, there wasn't an option to remap the buttons, so now I'm having to remember on the fly to switch over my where my fingers are. So B is still punch and C is jump this time, like it is by default.
Yep. So right now, I want to teach you the best combo you can do with the Axel.
Okay.
Punch, punch, then grand upper. So punch, punch, then do the command input, which is forward, forward, punch.
Yep, like that.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Man, I am especially glad I decided to break out the arcade stick for this.
Alright, so the Donovans, you see him, the black dudes in shade?
Mm-hmm.
Do not jump attack them. Ever.
Got it.
They're like essentially the anti-air enemy. And don't forget to break the canisters for health, because here's the good thing about getting health when you're full up. It adds to your points, which means you can get more 1-ups.
Nice. That is smart. That is good use of health items.
So yeah, don't forget that.
Mm-hmm.
And if I remember, if you do your back attack with a weapon, you can throw it.
Oh yeah, that's right. Pressing both buttons. Or not. Hold on. Oh yeah, that's right. It's weird how it inputs. Like, the more reliable way to do it, funny enough, is if you hold one button and then press the other. So it's like holding jump and then pressing B is like a more reliable way to do a back attack.
Yep. So don't fall into those holes. So don't.
That's right. Yeah, good to know. But yeah, just...
odd, but the only bottomless pits in the game.
Really? That's funny.
Yep.
Oh, man.
At least the only ones I can recall. I feel like there might be one in the industrial area, but it's been long. It's been a while since I played the game fully. I usually start, go straight, play with my brother until we go do other stuff for whatever purpose. But no, Streets of Rage 2 is a classic for a reason.
Yeah, including this track. It's the one everyone remembers.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say something. Since you played Streets of Rage 1, Streets of Rage 1's first track, Fight in the Streets, I think it's called, is very underrated as well. It's a great track.
Yeah, it's very solid.
Oh yeah, you're about to get to the divisive Streets of Rage soundtrack, Streets of Rage 3 after this.
Oh yeah, I do remember that, that being like a big point of contention. Also, like, a nice convenient feature that, again, I guess further highlights how Spike Out took a lot of things as far as, like, I guess, like, standards, ideals, whatever you want to call them, but like, you know, they have health bars for these enemies now that always show up based on which one you punch. Yep. Nice.
Alright, give me a grand upper. Give me a grand upper.
Okay, I'm gonna try and get it. Oh.
Jump kick, and you got it.
Oh my god.
So close. But what I wanted to tell you is there's health in those. I forget what they call them. Shit, like in coffee places where they tell you specials.
Oh, like the menu stands, right? Okay. Yeah, I was actually trying to hit it a little while ago, but I think my punches were still too high. But yeah.
Same goes for the tables, by the way. And
yeah.
Chairs. Break them.
Mm-hmm. Just break everything. You're no longer a cop. What does it matter?
Yeah, if it's in your path, it's probably breakable. Like an enemy or an inanimate object.
Yeah. Yeah, double punch to grand upper, like you said, that is a hell of a good combo.
Yeah, hey man, it gets you through nearly everything.
Yeah. Yeah, it's real good feeling. Also, still giving me that itch to, like, find more Genesis games to stream, be it through, like, well, I guess it's emulation either way, just either emulation on PC or just emulation through my Wii, just because it's, like, you know, it's nice to play it on the CRT, but the problem is, obviously, these are 240p games, and my capture card still doesn't deal with those very well.
I got you. Plus, the Genesis is just a good system.
Yeah.
People love to argue Super Nintendo or Genesis, but they're both excellent. Like, I grew up with owning both because I was a lucky ass kid and my dad was into tech, so he'd buy anything for himself, and then I end up having it.
Oh, here she is, Electra.
Good old Electra.
Mixing things up, grand uppers, suplexes, all the works. Let's get a...
Yep.
Nice!
And we'll keep the special moves, which are not comp attacks, to basically eliminating bosses where you get their health down.
Okay.
And, by the way, for the special moves, I'll tell you before you have to actually do any of them.
Mm-hmm.
If you hold forward and if you just press it as is, you'll get a different move.
Okay.
Is usually a defensive move that gets an enemy away from you.
Got it.
The forward one is usually an offensive move that hurts for a lot of damage. And one of my favorite things to do is double punch into grand upper into special, which is what I do a lot in 4. I want to say you can do it in 2, but wait till you can.
Oh,
just
okay.
eliminate it.
Yeah.
That's the defensive one. I think the forward one.
Okay.
Yeah, the forward one is just a bunch of fucking punches and kicks.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
And you got it.
Yeah, I still had no real problem dealing with him. Nice. At least this stage clear music does not change, even going into Streets of Rage 3 with its very different soundtrack.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, gotta keep some stuff.
For sure.
Alright, if you want a 1-up, there's one in this level, I'll let you know where it is.
Got it. Yeah, feel free to shout it out.
By the way, be ready to jump and kick.
Oh yeah, that's right, these bikes.
Yep.
There we go. Just keep going. Yeah, again, it's just funny how, like, even just working backwards from what I have with my experience of, like, playing Spike Out and going back to this, it's like, even as we're going through each Streets of Rage game, it is being even more obvious, like, of all the things that get added to these games and how, like, the pieces of the puzzle just come together for Spike Out. You know, with, like, just adding more of the moves, the different button combos, like the specials that are actual moves from your character and not, like, a smart bomb. Because that's definitely a thing that happens, like, in Spike Out. Though, because it's a 3D game, they generally have, like, a more full 360 area of effect kind of deal to it, like, get everyone off you at a moment's notice.
Yep. Like, and this level I usually find to be a lot of fucking fun. It's just, yo, everything's coming at you.
Yeah.
Make sure you take care of it.
For sure.
Like the solid beat 'em up design. Like, yo, just fight. And this game's great. Every time I look at it, I'm like, yeah, that's why it gets all the love in the world.
Oh, no you don't. You're not using that pipe on me, buddy.
Alright, so in this area, I think you'll find the 1-up. Before you jump in the truck, it should be hidden by it. Like, hidden in front of it, like you can pick it up. I'm not inside it.
Oh, shoot.
Behind.
Oh, behind.
Oh well.
Oh, well. I got 6 anyway.
Still be after the truck. Still be after the truck. So you have to beat up this guy, and then the rest will join in.
Okay, we got it.
Got him if you just grab up on him, yeah.
Yeah.
You want to try him out, huh?
Yeah, just trying to get combos going. Okay, well at least that connected on the last dude. That was pretty good. Nice.
Alright. I think... I missed it. Alright. I really don't remember, but there's like a 1-up. Like right before or after the truck. Oh well, something to keep in mind when you play this masterpiece again, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, just keep going straight until you need to like pay attention to something that is important to break.
Yep. And I think you're coming up on one of the annoying bosses, in my opinion.
Okay. Yeah, that was none. There we go. There we go. I got to get more used to the fact that like you can still just use it anyway without even having like a stock like you do in the first game.
Yeah, but it takes away a bit of health, so it's like a desperation move.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that does make a bit more sense. But I also, yeah, it's still fun to do anyway because, again, like kind of as you talked about, just the fact that there are like combos to an extent.
So this guy, you have to kick down essentially and punch a little bit. He'll keep flying all around. He can get real annoying.
Oh yeah, I think I recall this like during like the brief times I had like played the game. The fact that this is basically the second like proper boss of the game after Barbon at the end of the first round.
At least he doesn't have much health.
Yeah, that's a saving grace there for sure.
Yeah.
Ah.
And he heavily telegraphs his moves so you can avoid them.
Mm-hmm. Except when you can still get a hit on him.
Yeah, I usually go for the default jump kick.
Yeah. Ah, come on. There we go. Just keep going.
The default jump kick hits twice, I think. The one where you're like neutral.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's a different one compared to the Oh man, you got a bit too high for me to hit him there. Yeah, but I still kind of have to keep moving anyway, just because like by the time I could get close to him, he might start charging at me anyway. Yep. But hey, we got him. We still have 5 lives in reserve. It's all good. I get a feeling we'll get about as far, if not farther, than we did like in the first game.
I mean, yeah, we should be able to. Like, if I remember, good stuffer. By the way, fuck yeah, Dreamer.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Dreamer's so good. Yeah, I think funny enough, when I think about it, going back to Project Cross Zone 2 and the and Axel Stone showing up in that, I think it's like Go Straight's definitely like one of the tracks in there, but I think there's also a second, and it is Dreamer.
I mean, it has to be. Dreamer is the shit.
Yeah, I mean, like, they knew when they included him in Project Cross Zone that it's like, we're having the dude that was at his best in Streets of Rage 2. Like, there's no way we're not gonna, like, pull music from that game.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
A fun fact, too, with, oh, look at that, bare knuckle arcade cabinets.
Yeah, things that don't actually exist.
Yeah. Therefore, we need to break them because they clearly are not official. These are illegal cabinets.
That's nice. It's some Japanese game. Who knows what it is?
True. But yeah, with Axel in Project Cross Zone 2, the thing that I fondly remember most with him is how, because there isn't really any other, like, because of how I arranged my team, like, the way it works is that you have units that are, like, a team of 2, which is what you mainly control. But then you have support units, which are, like, they're just a solo character that you can call in with, like, a single button to do their own moves in conjunction with your combo. And just because I'd already expended, like, the logical, like, Sega team-ups that I did with that roster, I ended up putting Axel on the same team with Dante and Virgil.
Hey, He'd get along with Dante, not so much Virgil.
True. But also, it's just because I also attribute him, Dante, and Virgil as being the characters that allowed me to just literally defeat the final boss with a single combo.
What was the grand upper into Stinger into what?
Well, it was more like what I had to do in preparation for it, because Project Cross Zone 2 is very funny in how it allows you to just stack as many attack buffs and statuses as you can before you even go into attack, because like you can make a unit's turn as long or short as you want it, like until you go to attack an enemy, at which point that unit's turn ends. So that means you can get to, say, the Fire Emblem team, because Fire Emblem Awakening characters were featured in that. They have like a status buff that you could cast on any team that basically raises all of their stats by like 10% each time, which includes offense, and you can stack it for almost about as much as you have like special meter points to spend. But also you could still refill it with items, which do not end your turn when you do so. So I just dumped it all on Dante and Virgil until I could not do anymore. Then I used Axel's special support skill, which provides 150 attack boost, like 150 percentage rather. And then with that insane percentage buff in attacks, that was all I needed to defeat the final boss in one combo. And it ended, unsurprisingly, with a jackpot.
Nice.
Yeah. And not just the jackpot, the DMC3 one.
Ah, that's interesting. Like, those games are weird to me.
They are.
Like,
yeah, it's the sort of thing where I definitely would not recommend those to be games that you play. Mostly like if you're expecting like a strategy RPG that's as good as even the Super Robot Wars games, because it falls short in a lot of ways. But
it looks like it's just, a simple game for you to like, oh, I get to play this character. I always got that impression.
Yeah, it's just its main failing is that it takes... I mentioned Super Robot Wars because it does something that's kind of a sin in those games and, like, exaggerates it even more, which is they like to extend missions way longer than is necessary by having, like, mid-level reinforcements that show up after you defeat enemies that you feel should have been the end of it.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, so it leads to missions taking, no joke, upwards to about an hour.
Yeah. By the way, you should be spamming ground uppers. That should just kill people.
Yeah.
Like, you saw how that health melts?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, when I told you that, trust me on that, it'll make the game way easier.
Yeah, but I'm also doing this other thing that might be adding a bit of extra difficulty, which is streaming. Having to talk and whatnot, but that's fair.
Nah, I was just like, by the way, when you break those, do not walk into them because they'll explode and hurt you a lot of times.
Oh yeah, I noticed the explosion. That's right. For some reason, I was so close to that first one, I somehow thought it would have hurt me, but it didn't.
Yeah, it really surprised me, because as I told you, I was like, wait, what? But I'm assuming it's because you went to pick the health item.
Maybe something like that. Who knows?
Yeah.
Oh, but at least the explosion does hit the enemies. So that's nice as a little use of a trap. Yeah. One last thing I will say about Project Cross Zone that I think is good to keep in mind is that, like, the best things that you should absolutely look up about it, contrary to what you may think, are not the attack animations, because I think that's the one that's, like, most readily apparent to everyone, especially the people that wish that Cross Zone was, like, a fighting game. But the real appeal is just the story sequences, because it is all about just this crazy, elaborate crossover story involving all these characters from different universes, and, like, playing up on, like, all these different character traits and, like, in-jokes and whatnot. Like, a major part of the early plot, which sounds like a shitpost when I say it, but it is true, is that, basically, Heihachi releases bioweapons, both from, like, Yakuza Dead Souls and Resident Evil Revelations in Kamurocho and pins the... Not Heihachi, it's... Heihachi gets blamed for it because M. Bison releases them in Kamurocho. So in order to defend himself from this libel, Heihachi hires Phoenix Wright as his lawyer, which then prompts Bison to hire Boletta from Darkstalkers to kill Phoenix, because even the dictator knows that he could not stand up to Phoenix in the court of law.
Yeah, basically, this always seems like to me like a harmless, fun crossover type.
Yeah.
Reading a wholesome fan fiction that doesn't involve any weird sex acts.
That really is what it is. It's about just the fun.
What is essentially the weirdest boss situation.
Yeah, it's just a lot of fun with the characters and their situations and their similarities. Because, like, another reason why I'm particularly fond of Cross Zone 2 is that there are a lot of ninja characters. Hatsuma and Hibana from the Shinobi series are in that, along with Strider Hiryu and Kage from Virtua Fighter.
Interesting.
Also, also Natsu from Soul Calibur 5, which is part of the joke because of how, like, her personality is nothing at all like any of the other ninjas. So they very much play that up for comedy as the, like, one of these things is not like the other.
Nice. So, I want to ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell that they played Street Fighter?
Yes.
Because I remember I read...
It's like the bastard child of Blanca and Vega.
Yeah, I remember I read an Ayane Koshiro interview where she was talking about how during the development of Streets of Rage 2, once they had more budget and knew what they could do, right?
Mm-hmm.
They played a lot of Street Fighter 2 and had a Street Fighter 2 arcade cabinet.
That felt real good.
Yeah. See, my man, it's grand uppers. It will fucking annihilate anything.
Hell yeah.
Like, the funniest thing to me about them playing a lot of Street Fighter 2 is that fucking Blaze just has Chun-Li's moves and just yells out the same name. Kosho. All that.
Jeez, God, you're right. Yeah, I just realized that.
Yeah, it's just exactly the same.
Oh, man.
Alright,
that's great.
Underrated banger.
Alright, yeah. It's like Boo. A little
Like
sign.
Boo.
So, like, the... Always gotta love the funny signage in the background. Da, baseball. Or do baseball. Yeah, I just love the idea of, like, a poster just saying, do baseball, as if do implies that you do the sport like a drug.
Yeah, do baseball, man. Gotta get in the next home run.
Mm-hmm.
You'll never fucking reach. There's a big dragon there, you're following it.
Yeah. There we go. Oh, yeah. Everything about this music is... This soundtrack is so banging. It is every bit deserving of the reputation it has had ever since.
And one thing I do love is how the amusement park you just cleared is in the background.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you get a sense of place and progression. And goddamn it, they killed me before I could get that apple. Okay, come on. Oh, show, come on.
Someone's getting frustrated.
Oh boy. Somehow I'm surprised that I've still not made it below, like, 5 lives since starting. I've gotten them from, like, points and whatnot, but I've still felt like I've died plenty.
Yeah, and you picked the one up before you fought the ninja on the boat.
That's true, yeah. Oh, well, make that 4 lives left.
Oh, look, it's the lives people usually have at this point.
Yeah. Makes
they
sense.
Play normally. Hey, good job, see?
Cool. Alright, here we are. Look at that parallax scrolling. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man. Like, I kind of find it funny how we're both like not No More Heroes fans, and I'm like starting to notice stuff that's in No More Heroes that has like nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Like when you're in the baseball field, it's like, you know that Boss Baby tweet? Guy's only movie he ever watched was Boss Baby. Watching his next movie. Oh, I'm getting a lot of Boss Baby vibes.
Oh my god.
That's what I'm feeling like right now. I'm like, oh yeah, this is just like No More Heroes. A game I played way after this.
Yeah, and you know even more what I've been talking about every time I bring up Spike Out when it comes to just like the lineage going from like these original games to a 3D beat 'em up that you can basically extend to about an hour and a half long if you're good enough.
Yeah, man, like the Streets of Rage just is well executed series of known cliches and tropes of this beat 'em up genre. Like, oh, you get to go here, you're in an amusement park, you're on the street. What can we realistically put in here?
Yeah, we've got all manner of big street thugs and dominatrixes ready to make you cry for mercy.
I still love though that in the amusement park you go to basically an HRG place.
Right,
Because,
yeah,
hey,
like that weird horror show section.
which is like, hey, everybody wanted to do something alien anywhere, and might as well put it in an amusement park, like a haunted house or something.
That is so true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like,
All right, I'll look at your boy.
oh my
Not
god,
boy,
this
but-
asshole.
but
Time to
he's
get my
much
revenge,
easier this time.
fuckface. Oh, nice use of the grand upper there. And again.
Hell yeah, man.
Oh, this is too fun. Come on, what you got? I'm gonna keep grand uppering you until you have a no longer functioning stomach, bitch.
The limp fat boy is just how it is.
Alright,
was
there we
so
go. That felt great.
Alright, and now for an elevator.
Because it's a beat 'em up.
Yeah, but I love that the elevator goes down instead of up.
And
I
that,
how
like,
it's
they
the big
also
box.
introduce it to you as a surprise, that as like, oh, it wasn't just the pitcher's mound, it's a secret elevator. Alright.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
The hip hop influence is coming in.
Oh yeah, I can hear it coming, for sure. Got it. Oh yeah, that feels good. Definitely getting more in the habit for grand uppers. And just, or really just like, just getting in the habit more of knowing, okay, I should be doing forward attack. I know that's gonna help a lot.
muscle memory thing.
It's gonna help a lot, I'm sure, once it comes time for the rest of the games.
Yeah, like, muscle memory will help you a lot. These games. Specifically, like, if you learn to grind upper as much as you can, you're just gonna end up doing it over and over. It's like the roll and the queen of times. It's more useful.
Oh yeah.
Once you do it, you can't stop.
Okay, come on. Okay, that was a good use of it. For now, even though I'm very dangerously low on health, but I got them stacked. Ooh, double kill. That was good. Nice.
So like, oh yeah, never mind.
But yeah, I see what you mean. Obviously, with the risk of like using that special, and I noticed that it's like what determines whenever. Oh yeah, Ultimate Warrior's back. Time for the main event.
By the way, I have to say it. I love this game. I think this game is flawless, even if you can call this or that bad. I hate this sound. If he ever does anything. Like, it's like it's supposed to be a crowd cheering, but I hate it. I don't know why.
Oh god, yeah. Yeah, it's not a good looking crowd.
Like, when the like, when he hits you, you hear this shit. Hear it?
Yeah.
It's like a weird dying bird. I don't like it. But yeah, Abade Day. As you can tell, he's supposed to be the Abobo.
Yeah. Also kind of annoying that he's got like that get off me move that he does where he just like flexes and just like pushes you away. Like that.
Yeah, like, when that happens, I think just jump away.
Oh man.
Or you got him. That's like, dude, you got all this way without using any continues. You're fine.
Yeah.
You're gonna be fine.
It's been so much more generous when it comes to the lives. Stage 4. All done.
Oh, and there you go.
There we go.
3 lives now.
Sweet.
Ah, hell yeah.
Oh, this is a good track. Oh, yeah. It's a shame that, like, the software I use for, like, my VTuber avatar isn't that good at, like, tracking me when I do, like, any head bopping, because it kind of starts to lose track of where my face is and causes it to, like, default back to, like, its neutral position. So I can't do quite as much moving around the head-wise as I would like to show how much I'm digging this tune.
Just Grand offered everybody out there earlier. Fucking knife guy.
Oh, okay, come on. Ah, well. Still, these fire dudes still always a pain, but I feel more equipped to deal with them now than I ever did in Streets of Rage 1.
Yeah, like, in this game specifically, you just stand where you land him. He'll always be slow to move, so you can just lock him.
Yeah.
In place.
Yeah, because it's like, yeah, they may be able to stun you every time they punch you, but you can still do the same to them, and you can hit them way more often than they're willing to because they're still an AI.
And none of them got grand uppers, so...
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure if just any of these chuckle fucks decided to just pull out a grand upper, I'm pretty sure people's opinions of the game would change. They're like, oh, you don't want us to beat this anymore. Fine, assholes.
And I'm just gonna be, like, honest. I know Yuzo got on Twitter to be like, look, I know everybody says ground upper. I actually meant to call it ground upper. I'm like, sorry, man. Gone. It's grand upper. We all love that.
Yeah. I mean, whatever. I always, like, mishear, like, Terry's move is bomb knuckle instead of burn knuckle.
I mean, yeah. I'm gonna still mime Terry's English instead of...
Oh, for sure. like, who cannot appreciate Terry Bogard's immaculate display of the English language?
He's the most American character ever made.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Wears a trucker hat, has long blonde hair.
He is the dad to the son of another dad.
Yeah, it's very American.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Come on. All that's left is you, Wayne. What you got? Oh. Ah. All right.
You got him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just when you see that chunk of damage taken away when you get, like, a proper grand upper combo, that is some satisfaction. Oh, yeah. God, it just, now we're just going across the water. This really does have similar vibes to, like, that, to the music in that one stage in the first game where you're going across the bridge. That has that similar feeling, synthwave night driving feel to it.
Yeah, it absolutely does. It's just, that's something I like. It was a deliberate choice on Koshiro's part because it's what he got into. Mm-hmm. But from what I know, like, Final Fight tries really, really hard to go for, like, an almost hair metal aesthetic. Like, even the characters' names, like Poison is named after the band Poison.
Yeah.
Totem is named after a German metal band. They're all, like, named after some bands.
It's got a very rock feel to it, whereas I guess you could describe Streets of Rage being a more club feel.
Yeah, like, it's a kind of a deliberate change that just changes how you view everything of the game. Like, like when people call Streets of Rage like a Final Fight ripoff, it doesn't track to most people only because it has a different vibe entirely.
And also, you know, it came out on the competing console. You know, there's probably going to be some amount that are always going to bring that up just for, like, fueling, like, fanboy, like, this arguments and whatnot.
Just to be fair, Sega wanted the argument. That's what they went for explicitly with the marketing. So
Yeah.
we can't complain about it now.
Yeah, it's like when it's very clear at some point that it's like it was brought upon themselves for just trying to start the fire. It's like, yeah, there's just kind of no getting around that. Oh no! Oh no!
Oh man, you got a Zuma drop.
All right, here we go. Let's. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't.
Just never gets old, huh?
Yeah. So, yep, still got continues. You know, 2 more, and we can actually choose our character now. Yes, like you said. So, what do you say, Skate or Max?
I say go for Skate because he's kind of fun in how fast he is.
Okay, we'll go with that.
And Max is a heavy grappler. We can go with him afterwards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, look at it. Look at this kid. Look at how 90s he is. Look how radical.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, it's like one of those games where the character you pick is the difficulty mode almost. The Skate because of the way he's designed. And according to Yannick Kosher, they basically just bought a bunch of magazines that seemed cool and designed Skate off that.
That is great.
That's all kids. Yeah.
I think also the other thing I'm looking forward to with Skate is specifically in Streets of Rage 3, rather. And it's because of something that I realized during my test runs and kind of looking at like the character profiles and finally getting it through my head how Barkley Shut Up and Jam Gaiden in many of its stolen assets, one of them just has like Skate's portrait from Streets of Rage 3 representing Hoops Barkley.
Yeah. The Streets of Rage 3 was a weird game that had more story and choices. I think different routing as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, okay. It may not be a grand upper, but that's still pretty good.
Yeah, like Skate, since he was designed to appeal to kids, is the easy character. He's like a character that he's fast, can get away faster.
He's got rollerblades and a backwards baseball cap.
Yeah. Basically, Skate exists for the same reasons Asag the Hedgehog exists.
Yeah. And also just because of like the 90s-ness of it all is like also just reminds me of like Reboot and how obviously Enzo was like the kid character of the show. You know, because like every 80s, 90s like cartoon, Saturday morning thing always had to have someone like that. This was basically that, but in game form.
Yep, and I should have said Reboot. I'm like, oh, Enzo.
Yeah, yep, Enzo. Everyone remembers Enzo. Right up until the point of when he became an edgelord in Season 3.
Oh, Streets of Rage 4 DLC. Edgelord Skate. Let's
go. he somehow, in order to save his life at the last minute, gets himself, like, transferred out of Wood Oak City and is just trying to find his way back home.
Yeah, he's just into trap music now, has dreads that are all different colors.
Yeah.
Has a SoundCloud.
Oh, man. That'd be something. Is Skate in 4 and, like, also grown up, I have to imagine?
Sadly, no.
Oh, man.
The only omission and the weirdest omission. Like,
yeah, that feels so weird considering what I've seen of, like, the character art for 4 is that obviously it's taken into account the passage of time between, like, these original games and that one.
Yeah, like, he's just, like, the one omission, and the reason it's weird is Streets of Rage 3 has an optional character that's a kangaroo called Rue, and he's in 4.
Oh, God, yeah. Man.
Oh, yeah, it's like, man, we miss Skate. Like, I think Skate's kind of had a almost Scrappy-Doo Poochie reaction at some point. Like, maybe when I never saw it because, you know, I was a kid. I'm like, oh, it's just...
Yeah. And also, because these were, like, 16-bit video games, like, voice samples or whatever weren't, like actual, like, dialogue that was voiced wasn't a thing. So I don't think there was really ever the opportunity, even based on his design, to be like, oh, yeah, he's totally a Scrappy-Doo. Because it's like, we're not hearing him talk in a way that, like, solidifies him as being the Scrappy-Doo of the game.
Yep, by the way, I hate this boss.
Yeah.
I'm glad you killed him.
Yeah, I'm glad you got me that got me validated on that front, considering how I was getting a bit tired of having to, like, deal with that. But, I mean, whatever. With all those points, I got back 2 extra lives.
Alright, now let's fucking stroll through the beach.
Yep, designated beach level. It almost feels even more appropriate now that we're doing skate. Like, if we didn't have to worry about enemies and just going along this way to the music.
But man, how's he gonna skate on the sand? That doesn't work that way.
He can make it happen. He's got skate in his name.
Can find a way.
Oh yeah, that's right. Instead of the suplex, that's what he has. Just like gets on their shoulders. That's real good.
Now, a lot of his moves translated to a new character in Street Rage 4 who's related to Skate, Skate's niece.
Okay.
Harry Hunter, which when they picked that name, I don't know if they meant it or not. They're French, you never know, but it sounds like a porn star.
Oh god.
Harry Hunter.
Yeah, that is very porn star sounding.
Alright, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna take a piss.
Okay, yeah, no problem. I'll just get back to talking to the void like I normally do.
Yeah, you're very adept at it, so I'm not.
Yeah. Just taking the time to appreciate all the moves Skate has got.
Yep.
It's real nice. Okay. Hope everyone else is doing well tonight. I certainly am. Just, so much fun. Makes me even more excited now to get to Streets of Rage 4 later in the week. And also hope everyone is appreciating like the updated CRT for the stream, which is funny. Like I was actually talking to Wrath like for the first few minutes of the stream during the prior to switching over to the main feed, and it was like just decided to design this with the joke of being like, you know, I have a JVC manufactured CRT as like my current one that I have. And I was like, I should have something that's like more of like an off-brand equivalent of that to represent me on stream as opposed to just the generic like Sony Trinitron overlay. So that's the story why you see the ARC logo at the bottom and how it is very suspiciously similar to the fonts for the JVC logo. And also just wanting to like test the just expanding this sort of dynamic light setup that I've had for a little while now, actually. It used to be limited to just my avatar or co-host whenever we talked, but I decided, you know, what if we were to extend this, you know, just to further sell the idea that, you know, we're like imagining if the stream was if you were playing a game on a CRT in a dark room where the TV was the only source of light, you know? Naturally, that source of light would have to be bouncing off of the TV itself. So I decided to extend it to that and have it also show up on like on the bezel itself. I got other similar updates planned for some of the other overlays, like for like the monitor overlay that I use when playing like HD games and whatnot. I hope to draw up something new. It's funny, like, after spending the past week basically dedicated solely to designing my future model prior to getting the rig for it, it's like, once that was done, I had this weird feeling of, like, man, I got, like, a weird burden off my shoulder, and I have no idea what new project to replace it with, like, on that scale. So the result was, you know, I'm just gonna work piece by piece on like updating the look of all my different stream overlay parts to have a better look that can have like a style that's more cohesive as opposed to just randomly slapping together like whatever assets that I could find for download online, you know, like with the Trinitron overlay and whatnot. There we go. All right. More money. More points. Come on, line this up properly. Oh, got another Blanca wannabe. And the oh wow, yeah, they're really going hog wild with they're seriously calling him Souther. I mean, I guess I'm not surprised. We were literally fighting against some Mad Max-looking biker men, which again was like a huge inspiration for Fist of the North Star. I really should not be surprised how far like this game's like weird cultural inspirations have extended. It's not just limited to Street Fighter, even though it's a big one.
Oh, I'm back.
Oh, hey, welcome back. We were just talking about how like the weird Blanca-looking dude in this is named Souther.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
Fist of the North Star, you know.
There's a lot of Fist of the North Star in these games.
Yeah.
I think definitely Souther definitely comes out. Oh, Zed, the Zed gang and Shinobi, that's taken from Fist of the North Star. Isn't that like the first guy you fight?
Yeah, Zed was a name from Fist of the North Star for sure. Okay, so we already used up our time with Skate. Let's get some time in with Max, because I think this is our last continue, funny enough.
Oh yeah, well, you're coming up to the final level anyway. So
and we're also 15 minutes away from hour 2, which means it'll be about time to get over to the final game.
Yeah, by the way, hell yeah, Max.
Oh,
you're a
yeah.
guy who loves suplexing in these games. Max is a fun motherfucker.
Yeah, I could already tell he is designed to appeal to players with the grappler mindset.
Oh yeah, by the way, speaking of Zed, that's also my name. So it's fucking funny. The evil gang.
Well, as long as you were not being visited by any ninjas in white uniforms, I think you're safe.
I mean, ninjas in white uniforms, Ku Klux Klan, all the same shit. I just try to avoid it.
Oof. Oh god. I don't want to think of that as like an implication for old Joe Musashi. He deserves better.
Yeah, no, Joe Musashi, it's not his fault they appropriated his culture, man. The way his mask. It's not his fault.
Yeah. Now all I can really think is like the only reason he wears white isn't because that's like the Oboro uniform. It's just that he was like the one new guy where they didn't have any of the other like cooler colors. So he was like, no, this is all you got left. But eventually he proved to be so good within the Oboro clan that he just owned it after a while.
By the way, I find it funny that you beat the shit out of these guys so much, you got 7 lives now. Like, you got 2 1-ups.
Yeah.
They're about to lose it.
True. But also, like, when I switched to Max, that was literally at the end of the last stage where I beat those bosses. So, like,
oh, yeah, you just got the points. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, the late stage points. Yeah.
But yeah, this
yeah.
dude feels great. Just as far as, like, if you want a character that is all about, like, raw strength.
Yeah, he's just really fun to play. Like, he's one of my favorite. I hate slow characters in beat-em-ups usually.
Yeah.
But Max is an exception for me. And I guess, depending on who you ask, Axel in Streets of Rage 4 is also an exception for me. People think he's too slow. I don't think he's slow at all. He just doesn't have a run.
Interesting.
And besides, I grant upper everywhere, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I mean, that's still the general, like, important thing to do, regardless of character. Even if it's not a grand upper, you know, you gotta go for the double forward and attack just for their special.
Yeah, man. It becomes a thing. You start to realize it's a thing. Like, I don't want to say anything about other beat-em-ups because I don't know if Final Fight has similar tech in that way, but Streets of Rage always seemed more to have a bit more depth mechanically, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But it's a thing with Streets of Rage specifically. Always remember forward attack, forward attack, and always remember to not do it too much on its own. Have a combo lead into it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely something that I feel the more I've looked at some of these games, it's like the signs that like shows how underappreciated or misunderstood like it can be is like when thinking that none of these games have combo potential, even though they are capable of it. It's just that the people that are saying that are probably only playing the games that don't make good on that potential. because I see
either
how
that or
Streets
they
of
just
Rage can
button
do
mash
it.
through it.
Spike Out absolutely has combo potential, which is a significant part of why I love it.
Yeah, man. And hey, like the combo potential doesn't have to be infinite, even though that's cool when it is.
Yeah.
It's like, give me cool and enemy variety, give me enough to do, and give me enough challenge in doing it, and I'll probably enjoy it.
For sure.
Like, and hey, people just love button mashing through games. It is what it is. And it doesn't annoy me. It only ever really annoys me when somebody tries to make a judgment call on any game as far as not having or not having depth, when, at the end of the day, you're just gonna button mash through it. How would you know?
Yeah. Oh, here's the music. You know it's getting serious now.
Oh yeah, I can't wait till more of the Streets of Rage weirdness. By the way, I love how Streets of Rage is also weird. It's not grounded at all. It seems like that on the surface until you play it. There's gonna be a bit more weirdness coming up.
It feels really satisfying when you understand how like the back attacks work, when it's like you don't use them for what you think the intended purpose is, which is only if an enemy gets behind you. Sometimes it's practical to do it as part of a combo where you just turn around midway through and then just do like a back kick to their face.
Yeah, it actually became a thing people do in Streets of Rage 4, like in their combo videos.
That's awesome.
Kind of
I'm so glad to hear that.
Yeah, they add the back attack, like either in the beginning, middle, or near the end of a combo to like set up an enemy. And it's always cool to watch. Plus, one of the best things about Streets of Rage 4, when we get to it, is characters can't walk off screen. They just hit a wall and can't go back to jungle potential. And
oh my god, that is like, that sounds game changing.
It is, and even if they die, you can keep comboing them as long as they don't hit the ground. They can have a lot of fun with it.
Oh my god.
and the specials, which here take away from your health, it works on Bloodborne logic in 4, where it takes away from your health, but you can gain it back by attacking. So you basically can, if you know what you're doing, do all sorts of wild shit. Like, people found instant kill KO combos for different characters. Like, they could pull it off with Axel, they could pull it off with Max, they could pull it off with a bunch of different characters.
I am starting to see more now how, like, you could be saying that Streets of Rage 4 is amazing, and how some could say it's probably the best.
It's kind of a Mad Max situation, if you get what I mean. Speaking of, as we're looking at...
Oh, yeah. I can especially see that, because I already can see the obvious comparison of how, like, Streets of Rage 3 is just Thunderdome.
Yeah, basically, like... like Streets of Rage 2 is basically the Road Warrior. It's the one people remember the most fondly.
Yeah.
And then a new one, a fourth one, came out decades after the last one.
Yeah.
Nobody expected it to be as good as it is, but now it's arguably the best one.
Streets of Rage Fury Road.
Pretty much.
That's actually like an even more appropriate subtitle, just because Street is already in the main title of the series.
Yeah.
Oh man, that is amazing. Oh wow, that forward version is real good for Max's special. That's real good.
Tackle. Oh yeah, so speaking of, you played for Skate for a bit before I showed up. So Pro Skate or Anti-Skate? I'm Pro Skate.
Pro Skate or what skate?
Anti-Skate.
Anti-Skate.
Are you Pro Skate or Anti-Skate?
Pro Skate.
Yeah, he's fun. There's nothing wrong with him.
Yeah. I'm down for beat 'em ups that are able to get away with like very wildly diverging character varieties.
Yeah, might as well.
You know? I mean, that's also like a big part for why I like Guardian Heroes. It's got like, you have your main 5 that are very different, but then you have literally every enemy that is like playable in the multiplayer mode, including the bosses, and they're as god-maddeningly broken as you would hope they'd be.
So speaking of weird.
Oh god, oh. These are Genesis enemies as hell. Look at the freaking like mace, like spike balls on their arms. Oh man.
Yeah, they love that shit, don't they?
They do. Genesis may not have been able to do Mode 7, but they had more than enough other tricks up their sleeves.
Yeah, we'll call it mode 6. Why not?
We'll call it modes 1 through 6.
Modes 1 through 6.
Yeah, just like, yeah, we may not be able to scroll these planes as if they were like a 3D ground or whatever, but you know what we can do? We can do the sickest parallaxing you've ever fucking seen.
Yep.
Oh, man.
God, what a good fucking game.
Yeah. Also, speaking of parallaxing and Genesis, just figure out off the top of your head, what would you say is the best instance of like parallax scrolling in any Genesis game? Because I think I have one for me, but I want to hear what you can come up with.
That's a fucking tough one, because
Yeah.
I can tell you I've seen one maybe that I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, this is the best one, but it's at the tip of my tongue. I can't.
Yeah.
Like, it's a hard thing to answer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's ones I just like aesthetically. You know, like they're not really present tech-wise. I just like them aesthetically.
Well, for me, the one that comes to mind is in Dynamite Heady. Unsurprisingly, a treasure game, but it's like that one stands out to me because it pushes the parallaxing in a way that I feel it gets to what I think the ideal for a lot of people like back in the day was when it came to like that technique prior to 3D, and that was being able to make it look like you were actually on a surface that was like circular and spinning. Because at least with parallaxing, it's like, yeah, it gives you the sense that like background objects that are farther away don't rotate or scroll nearly as much. But obviously, like, trying to get it as, like, going around a circular arena was always a bit harder to convey. And somehow I felt like the one in one of the boss fights of Dynamite Heady is the most impressive implementation of that.
I think I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah, it's the one where, like, the boss can spin the platform around that you end up in the background and still controlling Heady.
Good job, by the way. That was dope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is the boss rush. This is the one where people get stuck on. So don't worry if you like don't get through this. Most people get stuck here.
Yeah. Plus, it's like I'm pretty sure like I already used up 2 continues. This is my last one, so I might as well do the best I can with old Max.
Yeah. The music, man. This shit. Kotaro was like, hey, man. Like, you know, you've seen this online. You're into retro gaming, right?
Oh, yeah.
People love to talk about how the Genesis sound chip was weaker than Super Nintendo's. I'm gonna be real. Tech-wise, maybe. But I remember more Genesis OSTs fondly than I do Super Nintendo. Like, yeah, there's Super Metroid, which is excellent or whatever. But MIDI version of Orchestra is not as interesting to me as, you know, basically club music.
Yeah.
Or New Jack Swing from Sonic games.
Yeah. I always remember it being referred to as the Genesis sound chip twang, which is like a big part where it's like some people hate it, but I'm definitely on the side that loves like how that particular sound works. Well, oh well. We game over near the end, but that's pretty far.
No, that's really, really, really far. And like, after this guy, you fight Zamza Souther again, you fight a bunch of others again, and then you fight a group of mooks, then Shiva, who's tough as shit, and then Mr. X.
Okay.
So yeah, you're excused.
That's fair. Yeah, we can go from there and just assume that again we did beat Mr. X and we're moving on to the next part of the story. To the
you're playing the beat 'em ups correctly. You're playing them where you go and exhaust all your continues until you're kind of near the end, but you never get to it.
Yeah.
But it's done, and you're like, okay, I'll play the next one.
Yeah, especially when it's like, you know, I could have gone the save state route, but I also feel like I would have had to set up like it probably would have like exacerbated like the inherent tedium that eventually comes from playing these kind of beat 'em ups if I'm having to like repeat these specific micro sections so frequently because of one annoying enemy.
Yeah, because beat 'em ups they rely heavily on pacing.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just do save states and go repeat, repeat, repeat. It's not like a platformer challenge or whatever, where you're like, ah, I need to make sure I make this jump. That's just fight, 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 and fight some more. So,
Mm-hmm.
all right, you ready?
Yeah, ready for story, because I am correct when I say this is the Japanese version. This is technically Bare Knuckle 3, but this is Bare Knuckle 3 with an English translation that I think is designed to be more accurate to what the actual story was than what actually got brought over in the original localization.
Yeah. Are you ready for the soundtrack to take a swerve? A turn that for some people it sounds great, for others they absolutely despise it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's crazy too, because, I mean, it still says it, music Yuzo Koshiro, but it's
If it
just, it's
isn't,
got a different vibe.
it's because the type of genres he was following were going somewhere else. And
Uh,
he got into that, so he started doing a bit more of that.
hmm,
Which maybe is a thing you couldn't really replicate too well on the Genesis. Like,
fair.
personally, for me, I'd call it a grower. It's an acquired taste over time. It doesn't come anywhere close to Streets of Rage 2 for me,
Hmm.
especially. Streets of Rage 2 is a perfect video game soundtrack if there is ever is one, right?
Yeah.
But this is for the Koshiro heads. If you like Koshiro in general, this is interesting to listen to. By the way, those are Mona and Lisa.
Yep.
They
Yep.
got their own designs.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or I
these are
guess as they're
called
being
Yasha
called in
and,
here, they're called Onihime and Yasha.
I
Because,
think the Japanese names even in Streets of Rage 1.
yeah, that's definitely something that's going to take some getting used to, just because of, even though they translated this original Japanese version, they still decided to go with original Japanese names for some of these enemies.
You like this weird ass robot sound?
Oh, yeah. Robot sound that feels like it could only come from a Genesis.
Yeah, man, my boy was experimenting. He felt, in a box, doing the same synth wave. He wanted to experiment.
For sure.
And by the way, one of the changes they did in Streets of Rage 3, not Bare Knuckle 3, is make Axel's top yellow as a reference to Adam. So that's like the most Adam you'll get is the American version.
Oh. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's go into options. Let's double check. Yeah.
By
Easy.
the way, if I'm not wrong, he's in the game.
Oh. But anyway,
As a cutscene, like in the cutscene. Not
right.
playable at all.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, like I was alluding to earlier, Streets of Rage 3, one of the few Genesis games with support for the 6-button controller.
There you go.
Yeah. Which I can still change things somewhat. So, yeah, I don't know. I admittedly, I think just because of how far I got in Streets of Rage 2, it's like I got used to, again, just the default of B as attack and C as jump. So I think I'll leave it at that. Leave A and X as special, Y as series, Z as back attack, which I think, I got a good enough sense for how to do it normally with like the button combo, but like the macro I think is a nice thing to fall back on.
All right, and there's one decent change in Streets of Rage 3 when it comes to the specials. Now there's a meter that fills up. When it's full, you can use it without expending health.
Nice.
But if you use it without the meter being full, it takes away health like it used to in 2.
Yeah. Okay, just making sure everything's correctly, because I know, like that like even with the original 6-button controller, you had like a button that like toggled a mode, and like I'm briefly confused as to whether or not like that has any effect on this game, or if it's entirely based on this single option, because the only other like 6-button games that I played on Genesis are ones where you don't have that option where you choose 3-button or 6-button on a menu. It's always you activate it by just pressing the mode button. Like that's how I access it in like Shinobi 3, as well as Contra Hardcore, which in reality I guess that's just more like it gives them a 4th button because they don't use all the remaining 3 for any of that. It's like they just dedicate all of X, Y, and Z to like letting you change between fixed shot and free shot in that game, which I liked a lot better than the weird like multi-button like input you had to do if you wanted to do that.
Yeah, as much as I love the Genesis, the 3-button controller was a mistake. I like the controller, but just being 3 buttons. All right, you vibing?
So we got, oh god, that's right, he was called Sammy in Japan. He's still skating my heart, damn it.
And the new guy, Zan, is a professor with a robot body.
Yep, I think it's only fair we start with this guy.
All right. Has electric powers, if I recall correctly.
Yeah. But yeah, and also you can see what I was talking about, where it was like, freaking Barkley Shut Up and Jam literally stole this portrait for Hoops.
Yeah, man, that game was great. Too bad the second game is a scam.
Yeah, I was so bummed out to see how that fell apart. I didn't even like back the crowdfunding campaign for that at the time, and even I still felt upset, at least like for everyone that put money towards it.
Don't worry, it'll come back as an NFT. It won't be a scam anymore.
Oh god.
Yeah, buy this skate image we stole from Streets of Rage and called it Hoops.
Oh. Okay.
Oh yeah, there's more story.
Yeah, it's very weird. Like a weird new element is discovered that terrorist organization's using to just create bombs.
Yeah, and Skate, a literal child, is here to be like, oh no, the bomb. And
yeah.
sent out with the troops.
Yeah, he's literally a child who is somehow allowed to work with these cops.
Can you send a message to Adam? That's all you get. Adam's just kind of an NPC.
Yeah. It's just, man. I mean, it's good to hear that they brought Adam back for 4. But again, it just would have been nice to fully complete it if we got Skate as well. Just have Streets of Rage. Everyone is here.
Yeah. Hopefully that happens in 4, or if they get to make a 5.
Oh yeah.
All right.
For sure. Here we go. Oh yeah, and yeah, that's his forward attack. Little shoulder charge. That's pretty rad.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and this is like as strong of like an impression. Oh yeah, that's right. Also, double tap up or down, side roll, which is like such an interesting like decision for like as far as like evasive options in a beat 'em up, considering you don't normally associate that type of evasive move being in here. The closest I think you could say is like the lane switching in Guardian Heroes.
Like, it's a good idea, but I don't think it's utilized to any sort of potential here. And
yeah.
I think you'll see what I mean.
I think like, at least when I was doing practice runs against one of the bosses, I recall there being one instance where I thought that there was like a good use for it. Like just walk out of the way and then to quickly get back into position, just double tap down. But again, it's like it's the rest of the game, I feel outside of those specific situations aren't really doing anything to like really incentivize it as like a core feature.
Yeah. And like I said, it's a game with cool ideas and ideas that make sense for making a sequel to Streets of Rage 2.
Mm-hmm.
Just for me overall, like, I don't think this game is bad. It's a good game. It's a good beat 'em up.
Yeah.
It pales in comparison to what came before, mostly because of how it executes its concept. And I'll stick by that probably till the end of my days.
Yeah.
But hey, it's a fun game to play. And there's a lot of cool stuff about it, like how you get Rue. We'll see if it can get him.
Yeah. I mean, we already established this is the Return to Thunderdome of the Streets of Rage series. You know?
Yeah, pretty much.
Weakest movie, but that's not to say that there still wasn't, like, something worthwhile about it. I mean, you had Tina Turner in it. That's worth something.
Yeah, at least it's interesting. Like, I'd rather take something that's interesting and flawed than just outright bad, but a bad version of what I like.
Yeah. But,
yeah, like, the vibe is completely different. It doesn't feel like Streets of Rage from the game.
Yeah.
You can see why it's divided.
I also think that, like, if we're thinking of, like, in terms of, like comparisons to other video games that have similar weird change in directions for the third game, like, I also think of, like, the NES trilogy for Ninja Gaiden. Because I remember that was
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
similarly kind of contentious feeling from fans about how not right certain parts of it felt in comparison to the first two games. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, when you, like, when you grab items as Zan, when you grab items as Zan, they just, like, become, like, a ball of light or whatever, like, in his arm.
And you throw it, I think, like a Hadouken or whatever.
Yeah, which is still the same input for back attacks, I take it.
Yeah. And you can try out your specials as well with the OK.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, great ideas.
For sure.
Ultimately, like, there's people who love this the most, and I get why, and it's precisely because with most characters you can dash, like Axel can run in this game, you can dodge up and down, you can, the specials have that OK meter, like, a lot of solid ideas, plus if you end up vibing with the soundtrack, you're good.
Yeah,
but
I mean, even when I was practicing it, just looking at all the mechanics on display, I was like, I had in the back of my head, you know, even though this is the unpopular one, whether there's a chance I like this the most because I can, like, depending on the game, find a special appreciation for them if just the multitude of mechanics they have jive with me.
Yeah, like, I like it. I enjoy playing it at times. It's just not as, I want to say the word is replayable as Streets of Rage. So, like, because I actually do like the soundtrack here. I don't like it as much as Streets of Rage 1 or 2, right?
Yeah.
Especially 2. I like how the mechanics work in Streets of Rage 2 more. I think it's better thought out. And I like the enemies I fight. I like the level design, even if it's just aesthetically more. Like, Streets of Rage 2 is just a better looking, sounding, and in some cases playing game. But this game, it took the right steps. It's just, execution-wise, it's not as well executed for what it tries to do as, say, a Streets of Rage 2 was for what it is.
For sure.
Like, and plus, it's a late Genesis game. And you know that?
Yeah.
I remember, like, when I played it when I already had a PlayStation 1. And it's like tail end. The console's dead, basically. The 32X, I think, came out.
Yeah.
And shit like that. It's like, that's why you don't hear as many people talk about playing it. Okay, here he comes.
Yeah, this is the dude that everyone knows that they just did not bring over to, like, the English version.
It's based on a Japanese wrestler who for some reason also goes by Razor Ramon, but it's not the same Razor Ramon as the WWF.
Yeah, that is
also,
like a weird, like, trippy thing to hear, just that there's like the idea of there being two Razor Ramones and they aren't the same.
And his entire wrestling gimmick is that he's basically a gay stereotype.
Yeah,
like,
just a big, hard gay, like, flamboyant stereotype. And it's the sort of thing where it's like...
It is hard gay. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And the thing is like, I look at this and I also think of how it's like, not even Mr. Gold and Mr. Silver from God Hand make me go oof. Like the same way this does.
Yeah, because it's a character that can only work if a gay creator designed them and knew like what to do with them, right?
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, it's a stereotype.
Yeah. I think also the fact that like you see that boss's design and you're like, it is very clear like where the real life analog is. With Mr. Gold and Mr. Silver, it is just the weirdest confluence of like carnival freak show design of like two demonic black male strippers. With peacock feather collars and other bullshit. Yeah,
like it's like it's just odd. Like this game has odd choices. Well, it's not odd choices.
But then we got this.
Here's Shiva.
Yeah, Shiva. This is a cool one.
So Shiva is the Virgil of the series.
Oh.
He's who you fight before you fight Mr. X in Streets of Rage 2.
Okay.
Axel's rival, essentially. And he's also playable in this game, but I forget how you unlock him.
Right. I recall seeing like on Game Facts, like in the cheat section, there's something about like a code or way to gain access. Ooh. Come on.
And here he's like the first real boss fight.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, Mr. Not Razor Ramon was just the warm-up.
Yep. And like, I kind of like the idea of having rivals who come and show up more than once. I think Shiva is in this game more than once. I think, oh, I forget his name. The stereotype. He has a name, but I forgot what the fuck his name is.
The one we just
He
fought?
also shows up a bunch of times. Yeah.
Ash.
He has a name.
Ash, I think, was the one that the name on the, like, on his health bar.
No, yeah, it is Ash. And Ash also comes back a few times. And it's like, I like the idea of reoccurring rivals in a beat 'em up. Like, people complain about repeated boss fights. I don't personally think it's a problem when done well.
Same.
Because I like Tamiya games. Tamiya does it really well.
Come back here, you bastard. A line that totally would not have flown in an English-released Genesis game. At least from Sega. Or at least not to this degree.
Is it one of those the fan subbers adding in swears that weren't there? Could be.
I'm going to assume that's absolutely what it is.
Yeah, because I remember when I'd watch like Bleach or Dragon Ball fan subs back in the day, they'd say fuck so often. I'm like, oh, these are totally for adults, and it's like, no, that's not the case. That is by edgy teens who like it.
I think the funny part too is that there's like, I think there was like a fan like scanlation team for the Dragon Ball Super manga when I was going, and I think they decided for just whatever dumb reason to go all in on like that mentality of like old Dragon Ball fan subs and just like go in on the needless swearing. And I'm just like, man, like, this manga already doesn't look like it's that great, like, in its own original language. I don't need you to ruin it any further.
Yeah, like, oh, let's preserve the characterization a 14-year-old came up with in 2003.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
It's so stupid.
Yeah, like, as far as street themes, this is, like, it's no go straight, no fighting in the street.
Mm-hmm. Alright.
But you can vibe to it. Feels like a demonic clown music, which is appropriate, and we'll know why here in a second.
I think I know what you're talking about as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh look, the Joker showed up. Good timing.
Oh. Yeah. I'm not here to listen to your screed about the society we all live in, apparently.
I'm here to ask you if you played normal tactics.
Normal taxing. Okay, come on. Oh, yeah, that's right. I gotta remember, like, it's forward and special that he does like that. That extendo arm with the electric aura. Just the neutral is more of like a get off me attack.
Pretty much. Nice, you got some health when you needed it.
Oh yeah.
Right, don't fight the kangaroo, don't fight him. Fight the Jester.
just fight the clown, the gimp clown. Yeah. God.
Yeah, like, fight the weird gimp clown who looks like he's in a manga.
Yeah, this is clearly someone's fetish.
Yeah. The fetish I don't want to know any more about. Like, I don't want to see what you do with balloon animals, my man.
Well, I don't really care so much for it either, so we're at least on that same page. It's just, man, it's just you look at this. This is the biggest sign more than anything of how, like, it feels like it is an unspoken rule if you're making a beat 'em up. You just have to make all of your rogues gallery look like that they just got like ditched from the circus. Like they were no longer like good enough at their jobs to be there, so they just like went to a life of violence.
Yeah, but what fucking avant-garde circus is this guy from?
No freaking idea.
The underground Cirque du Soleil BDSM club is where it's from.
Okay, come on. I'm still trying to do as best I can as someone that values... Oh, no! It's just focusing on just destroying the clown first and letting...
Got him.
Yay! Rue gets to live another day.
Yeah, now if you die, you get to play Rue.
Oh, okay. Nice. Yeah, that's right. That's how you get that started. Okay, I remember this from my test run. The effects they have going here are so nuts.
Yeah.
Like,
That one Revenge of Shinobi boss. I think it's Revenge of Shinobi, wasn't it?
yeah,
Like,
Revenge of Shinobi did.
all over the place.
Yeah. Unsurprisingly, a game also with the Yuzo Koshiro soundtrack. I feel like he was like very in touch with whatever the level designers was and going, listen, I know what my music sounds like. At least give me one level where it feels the most appropriate.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, just like all the different like spotlights, effects, flashing strobe lights and all that. It's just wow.
Yeah,
like this is the hardest.
Track,
definitely the hardest that any club level in the Streets of Rage games has gone yet.
Yeah, like this is just all the lasers, all the strobing effects, like seizure warnings. We're going in.
Yeah. I can only imagine just how much harsher it would be, obviously, when you're dealing with like the phosphorus of a CRT.
Yeah, like imagine some kid playing it late at night, lights off.
Yeah.
Just like wanting to look at his video game and it just starts flashing in his eyes, like the Porygon episode of Pokemon all over again.
Or even not that severe, but it does lead to questions from his parents in the morning, wondering why do his eyes look so red.
Yeah, man, it's a bit much.
Yeah, for sure. It's impressive to say the least. Again, proof that how it's like it's always fun looking at old consoles and seeing like how far developers are able to go with the with like what games on that system could look at the beginning versus how they look at the end. And Genesis is definitely up there for some of just the most like impressive and awe-inspiring kind of leaps in technical and artistic prowess. I guess I still to this day think a lot about the stuff in Shinobi 3.
Yeah, Shinobi 3 is like top 5 Genesis, because we can both agree on that. Mm-hmm. Like as far as the lighting and the sounds right now, it's so garish though. Like
yeah,
it's so garish. Like you know what it's like the Polish cartoon equivalent of Streets of Rage. Like Worker and Parasite, that Simpsons joke.
I see that, yeah.
Speaking of leather and gimp.
Yeah, at least these aren't clowns.
Yeah, at least they're women. At least it's something I can find attractive. Not a health tape in the gimp suit.
Yeah. Yeah. But at least, like, it's cool just kind of how they, like, their attack animations, they clearly add a lot more to give you the sense that they absolutely are a team, and they have, like, some amount of, like, synchronization between the two of them.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, even in Streets of Rage 2, when you fought them, I noticed that it is very much like they were still working, like, their own independent AI routines.
Oh, yeah, they weren't in 2. They were in 1. Because you mean 1, right?
Oh. Was it? God, I am losing track of so many of the minute details as we go along.
They were supposed to be in 4, but cut. At least according to the concept art they had in the game.
That's a shame.
I would like to see him. Yeah, I like. I know they call him Yasha and Unihime, but Mona Lisa is just a good name.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah. Again, it's just the
Maybe
sort
it's
of thing.
Cool in Japanese, but
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's clearly something that makes more sense as far as like that pairing, like if you're going by Japanese culture or whatnot. But Mona Lisa, that's a lot more obvious, like what like the joke or reference is for English speakers.
Yeah.
Okay, come on. Oh wow, just that grab already takes off so much health.
Yep.
And oh, there we go. Slow-mo on the final hit, like a good old fighting game.
Yep.
Unless it's a 3D one like Virtua Fighter, in which case they have the instant replay, but they didn't have that idea yet.
Alright, so seeing as I'm the least familiar with this game, I'm trying to remember what stage is next.
Actually, I think I remember, and it's one where, like, I very clearly recognized how, like, it ended my practice run, because I think it involves, like, a chase sequence.
Oh, is it the one where you break down walls to get away from, like, a fucking bulldozer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, I remember that,
Yeah,
and when I first got like surprised by that, and like it was why I stopped kind of like the practice attempts, because it was like that's like this seems like something that's requiring way faster reactions than you would ever have on a first playthrough.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, but we got to keep going. Figure out who the hell this fake Axel is that has caused the whole city to frame the original Axel. Oh yeah, it also has this gimmick with like the barrels.
Oh yeah, speaking of, I forgot there was like a fake Axel plot. There's like plot lines.
Yeah.
Here that
Funny
happen.
enough, the fake Axel bit is actually like a minor plot point in Project Cross Zone 2. Because they use the fake Axel as like a mini boss that you fight repeatedly throughout the game.
Oh well, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's just the game's just odd, man. Like there's no other way to put it. Like,
Yeah. Music's
not
odd,
bad,
plot
but
is
it's
odd, some of the visual design choices are odd. Bye.
Yeah.
Just
Like,
throwing that chicken into the bottomless pit.
like you can see why like a lot of people bounced off it.
Oh yeah. I absolutely can see why. What the?
Yeah, you have to jump over those things. I think
Okay.
or whatever. Or maybe there's mines. I don't know, man.
Something like that.
It's been a minute.
Okay. Well, at least I threw the weapon, and I guess it was less like a Hadouken and more like an energy bowling ball.
Yep. More SNK than Capcom.
True. Yeah.
Move. Yeah.
Zan knows how to do a Rapuken.
Yeah. But does Zan go predictable though?
Double Rapuken!
Oh, this one has like 2 hair colors.
Yeah.
You can never do that before.
Also, wow, that is... Okay, here it is. Let's hope I can do this. All right. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, yeah. This is kind of the frustrating part.
I love how you went through one, but not the one in front of you.
Yeah, and it's like... This is where I was kind of struggling, because it's like... How does the game expect you to break all these fast enough? But I feel like this is going to be where it really eats up the rest of my continues.
We'll see. I think maybe go Axel and ground uppers and stuff and move you forward.
Okay. Yeah, I guess it'll be a good time to, like, just go back to Axel, if only because that is such a valuable, like, special move.
Or fuck it, let's give Rue a shot.
Give Rue... Oh, yeah, that's right. We got Rue. Oh, wait, but we also got Shiva.
I guess you just have to beat him.
Wait, we got Shiva, Vic... Oh, wait. Victi is what they call Rue in this. Okay.
Alright.
So we still going with Rue, you said?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, let's go with him.
Yeah, why not? Oh, yeah. Oh, I can see why this is valuable.
Oh yeah, you can punch the thing behind you to stop it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, now I see. That's how they expect you to do that. It's still kind of frustrating to get off just right, but I think also that's the funny thing. Like the hitbox when I'm trying to do the forward with Rue. Also, like, or maybe I'm just...
A bit much.
Bit much.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I don't blame you at all. This wasn't designed too well.
Yeah, I don't particularly like this section. But at least knowing more that it is like, yeah, you can hit the front of the bulldozer to stop it, that helps. The problem is, obviously, you could still mistime that. Okay, but now we're a kangaroo with boxing gloves. That's always fun.
Alright, this track is a vibe. I'll give it that. Like,
Yeah.
Like I said, there's some
wait.
decent tracks, but yeah, it's not move forward.
Oh, yeah.
I knew how you could make that mistake. I guess.
Yeah, for some reason, I thought that was another platform. I didn't notice that was the wall.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. This character's nuts.
Fun, man. Fun, man.
Yeah. I am totally down with Rue.
Well, I think one thing I can definitely say about Streets of Rage is I like all the characters I can play as across all 3 games. Like, there's no like weak like.
Yeah.
There's no character I generally avoid. Like, I like playing Axel, of course, because I'm an Axel main. I like playing Blaze, I like playing Adam, Ace, Max, Rue, Shiva. Dan is cool too. Like, I don't have a problem with that.
Oh yeah. Damn. Come on. Yeah. Oh yeah, actually I just realized something. I've been doing the forward attack muscle memory obviously, but I just realized what the series like Y button prompt was supposed to be. It's just a macro for that exact same attack. So it was like if I was playing as Axel, I would basically have a 1 button access to Grand Upper.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Basically the combo button, a bunch of like the Arceus fighting games essentially.
Something like that, yeah. I mean they had double the buttons now after 2 games of only 3. They had to find some use for it. Although it's especially weird because like because it's more like they found 5 different unique inputs. Special just gets duplicated across A and X. Yeah,
you just like you already need to make it for a 3-button pad anyway. So
yeah,
you're gonna have to make something work for a 3-button pad.
Yeah. Though to be fair, I guess like that's also the same issue that Shinobi 3 ran into with its 6-button mode, where it's like you basically have 2 buttons for throwing shuriken.
Yeah. Like I had that 6-button controller back in the day, and as much as I liked it, I don't remember it having any more use in most of the games I played back then.
Yeah.
So like Sonic the Hedgehog, Super 8, some licensed games.
Yeah, just the only games I know of that would be of interest to me that use it are obviously Shinobi 3. Contra Hardcore uses it, which I noted was very helpful when I streamed that.
Oh yeah.
And then
I used it a lot for Street Fighter. Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
Street Fighter was like the best use of it.
Also, that Yu Yu Hakusho fighter that Treasure put out, that basically serves as like a weird proof of concept for Guardian Heroes, because it's like a lane-based fighter similar to early Fatal Fury, and has like forward and back dashes based on like different buttons.
Yeah.
It's an interesting game that fortunately enough also has like a English translation, so you can kind of know like what everyone's saying.
Yeah, man. Every time I look at this game, I'm like, yeah, it's alright. It's pretty good. But there's a reason I pick 2 every time I want to like replay Streets of Rage.
Yeah, for sure.
I pick 2, I pick 4. On the off chance I pick 1. But
alright.
3, I don't play that often. Pick Sheva, so you might as well do the rival battle.
Absolutely. Like, evil character versus the evil clone.
Yep.
Might as well, with this being the last continue, and it's like we're definitely getting pretty late in the stream already, 2.5 hours in. It's been very fulfilling, not any sort of like downtime whatsoever.
Oh yeah, we played like what? Streets of Rage 1, 2, and 3 basically. Basically all the way through. We'll go with that.
Yeah.
Basically all the way through. And it was fun enough, and it was fun like hanging with you and chatting about one of my favorite series.
Sure. There we go.
Now that you're playing the Japanese version and you're having trouble. Imagine playing the American version.
Oh god, I'm already imagining just how much more nightmarish that would be. Oh yeah.
You pick easy and everything.
Dealing with this evil Axel who's called Break.
Axel Break.
Yeah.
That sounds like a name for a video game protagonist from back then.
It really does. Come on.
Either that or one of those Mystery Science Theater joke names for that one movie.
Yeah. I can totally see that. Oh, come on. He is just...
Remember when we said enemies don't have ground uppers?
Yeah.
They don't.
Yeah, this is why. This is why that is always a bad idea. God, he's doing such a good job at preventing me from, like, get these final couple hits, and there we go! Blow your
He's
ass
a
up.
robot.
Yep.
There's robots all over in this game.
It's a Terminator.
Like a Terminator. Yep.
I love that they couldn't even make like a full-size like character portrait for Shiva.
Yeah. A robot.
Hmm.
Hey, old man, I think you're still working for them. Oh yeah, Zan used to work for them. I forgot
Yeah,
about
that's
that.
right.
There's so many story ideas here that's like.
And Skate is just so pissed in this right now. Oh man. Thank you, Blaze, for being the voice of reason.
And I love this sound effect of just slowly hitting one key on the MIDI board.
Yeah. Because, I don't know, it's supposed to represent, like, the freaking, like, sparks or whatever from this robot corpse.
Maybe? I don't know, man. We're putting more thought into it than...
Alright.
Yeah, Shiva's a cannon.
Mm-hmm.
He's, like, very powerful, but he can't pick up items, if I recall correctly.
Right,
That's like
yeah.
He just throws them or something.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay. Yeah, I noticed very quickly what the gimmick of this level is.
Oh, yeah, the environmental hazards are all over Streets of Rage 3. Like, they try to do that as much as they can.
Yeah. At the very least, I was glad to, like, very quickly pick up on, like, what the tell is, and that is when you look at which track is vibrating. Kind of subtle, but it's viewable.
Well, that was an interesting move.
Just the double flip.
I love how they're all L dropping in like a Nacho Man Randy Savage.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, come on.
But it's kind of stupid to try to elbow drop where you don't even know if the guy's gonna be there.
Yeah.
An elbow smashing into concrete is not a good idea.
No, it is not. Contrary to what
get...
some might think, the world is not made out of the same material as a wrestling ring.
Yep, like, I don't know, man, you'll get some problems there. Like, at best, an ulnar nerve, I think that's what they call it.
Mm.
An ulnar nerve problem.
Yeah.
Pinky and ring finger won't be the same again.
For sure. Okay. Oh, no, that's coming from the top. There we go. Let's see. Oh, man. Shame about the pillar just, like, blocking your view of some of these. Be nice if it just would go, like... Like, that really does feel like it should be a rule. Like, if you want to have those kind of foreground objects, the least you could do, like, in a game like this, have them be semi-opaque.
I guess so. But from what I've noticed, I don't know if it's because of your movement, but it always goes top down, so...
Something like that,
and
yeah.
it's easier to predict, yeah.
That too. So yeah, I guess, like, in the grand scheme of things, it's not a bad gimmick. It's definitely not the bulldozer.
Yeah, but it doesn't happen often enough where it makes sense as a hazard, or low enough where it isn't a problem. It's just kind of like, okay, I guess you wanted to do this, because you wanted to have a hazard.
But at least this changes it up, so there's only one track, so now you gotta, like, get to cover. Just guess it's not too bad.
Yeah.
Music's definitely even more on the weird side now that we're in this particular zone.
Yeah, man's experimenting. Man watched the David Lynch movie and wanted to audition. Man really, really, really wants to do something more artistic here, which, hey, man, I can't hate on.
Yeah.
The best track in this game, I don't know if it will actually end up there because of the tougher game and the continues are low. It's a Revenge of Shinobi reference.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think it's called... What was the track called? I'll look it up right now. It's something Shinobi. Reverse Shinobi, that's what it's called. The track. It's like a weird reverse of one of the Revenge of Shinobi tracks.
That was very weird why why the screen moving forward didn't happen, and that's because I think I was already too far ahead when I killed the last enemy. That is like a weird glitch in the triggers that I did not expect.
Yeah. Like, well, the nuances of this game kind of escape me. Like, as I said, like, I didn't play it as much. I played it a bunch when I was a kid, for sure, but as far as revisiting, like, I've only revisited, I want to say, twice since I had a Genesis and played as a kid. Like, I think I did so when I got a Streets of Rage collection on Game Pass, because they had a collection of all 3 games, and it had a Japanese version of this one, so I tried out the Japanese version, as it's the one I grew up on anyway. And then, I played it that one time, and one time on emulators when I wanted to try out Streets of Rage Remake, the Japan remake. Which in itself is cool, but I wouldn't say is essential to play. Like, it's more like if you're the diehardest of diehard, to try out. It's the greatest hits collection, if anything. Oh, here it is! This is the track I'm talking about.
Oh, this sounds good. And now
we've got it.
And now we've got this guy.
Shinobi bosses.
Yeah, alright. I totally know what you've been talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, this track rules.
This slaps. Holy shit.
Yeah, like I said, like this is Koshiro. Yuzo Koshiro. I was like Kuzo Yoshiro or some shit. Yuzo Koshiro. Like, he experimented a lot in the soundtrack. Sometimes it doesn't hit, but hey, some of the hits are worth hitting. Like, it's worth the experimentation sometimes. Maybe if he had more time or whatever, but I don't know if he did. But it's very clear that his influences changed, because that type of electronic music he was following at the time shifted. Like, the trends there just shifted, so he probably was following that, trying to recreate that to the best of his abilities. That's some bangers, which is Reverse Shinobi here.
Yeah.
But some odd tracks, like the club track earlier, or the street track earlier, where it's like, I guess this sounds like a circus thing, I don't know. It's not bad, but I'm not gonna choose to listen to this outside of the game.
That is totally fair. Yeah, I don't see myself. I also don't see myself listening to a lot of the soundtrack outside of its context.
Yeah, because that's the thing about Streets of Rage. It's a bunch of tracks you can listen to outside of the game until you play Streets of Rage 2.
Yeah. Well, there we go.
Streets of Rage 4 though. Excellent soundtrack. Different, but excellent.
Glad to hear that.
Yep.
So far, doing pretty well with Shiva, all things considered.
Yeah, he's like a boss character you can play as, so that's part of the reason.
Probably the best chance we do have of actually getting to the end, if at all.
I kind of doubt you get to the end of this because you're playing on easy mode, if you recall correctly.
Oh,
and
right, you talked about this right at the very beginning.
Yeah, and regardless, there's an easy mode ending that's only for easy mode, so there's that. There's like 4 different endings, and one has a different boss. So it's very replayable as a game. So I can see, as much as I say I can see why some people don't like this game, I can definitely see why people like this game the most. There's like weird replayability factors, like the different bosses, some different routes to levels.
Yeah.
There's all the mechanics, and the music is odd, but it's unique. They will fucking leave.
Yeah.
So, hey, say what you will about each Streets of Rage game. One thing you can say about this trilogy for sure, each game feels different, although they kind of are cut on the same cloth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Same team, same system, same everything, but you can immediately tell them apart. Just looking at screenshots, playing the game, they all have their own vibe in a way.
For sure, yeah. Yeah, and it's definitely this thing where it's like, yeah, with the very first game, it's like its main vibe obviously is the fact that it was the first, so obviously it is like at its simplest. But then you get to where it's just everything about that first game but more. And then this is more like everything about the second game, but but different.
Yeah, like the best way to put it is like Streets of Rage 1 is like a Genesis beat 'em up that's more like Double Dragon than it is Final Fight.
Yes.
Especially like with how the ending works out, how simple it is, which is really cool about it. Like it's very good at that. Streets of Rage 2 feels more like contemporary beat 'em ups at the time, just refined to a near sheen with its own mechanics and everything. This feels like, okay, we're at the tail end of where beat 'em ups matter. What can we add to beat 'em up to make them different? Multiple endings, multiple routes. Let's rethink the mechanics somewhat. What if you can do a side roll? What if all the characters can run? Know what I mean?
Yeah. What if we made use of this 6-button controller that we introduced several years too late?
Yeah, and it's neat about it, but also what can draw you out. Because, like I said, I love Streets of Rage 1 because of its simplicity. Streets of Rage 2 is not suddenly way more complex. It's just iterated well enough. I think it's executed as well as a beat 'em up can be. Like that type of beat 'em up, at the very least.
Makes a lot of sense.
That's what I love about it.
For
It's
sure.
very replayable, and the pace is incredible. Here, there's a lot of new stuff that I don't think is executed as well, but I do appreciate it all the same. It just means less replayable. Because Streets of Rage 2, I can pick it up and play it at any point. Play it until you die, pretty much. Run out of continue.
Yeah.
Right? Learn how to 1cc it. This game is like, oh, you can play it, go for this ending, you can play it, go for this ending. Oh, this is another track I love.
Oh, yeah, it's already hitting me real good.
Yeah, like, you can pretty much feel Koshiro get the hang of what he's trying here. It's good shit.
Yeah.
But as far as how it applies to the Genesis sound chip, in some cases not as much. In other cases, yes, it fucking does. Like, this doesn't sound like Streets of Rage 2, neither does Reverse Shinobi. But they're bangers. They're just weird and funky and it works.
Very eclectic.
Yep.
Yeah. Alright. Time to beat up this fat boy.
Shit. You got 5 lives. When did that happen?
Shiva. That's what happened.
Oh yeah, I forgot. And this one, Big Ben can carry the grunt and throw magic. Well, I guess he's called Heartbeat.
Yeah.
I'm calling him Big Ben because it's Streets of Rage 2.
Fair. Yeah. I mean, also just the big guy being called Heart is just, yeah. Just immediately going back to they were fans of Fist of the North Star.
Oh yeah, man. Like, Fist of the North Star references are in so many odd games, and before Fist of the North Star ever got big, it's kind of like, I was thinking the other day how it's funny that Super Sonic predates Super Saiyan in the West. Even though it's very explicitly based on Super Saiyan.
Yeah, just Yuji Naka was just reading Dragon Ball at the time. and just had a moment of inspiration from that.
Yep.
Oh, man. Okay, so... God, definitely wondering how long that this is gonna take a bit more, just because we're already, like...
I think it's gonna end here, this level.
Like, with this level in particular, is where it gives the easy ending?
Yeah, I think so. Like, I don't wanna say for sure. Like I said, not that familiar with this game, haven't played it as much as the others. At least to my memory. Like, it's been a long time since I've used this game.
That's fair.
Yeah, I want to say, like, after this. Because it feels like it's leading up to Mr. X with the busts and everything. So this Mr. X is supposed to be dead. And I might as well tell you, like, what one of the secret endings... Oh, yeah, it is.
Alright.
Yeah. Elevator or whatever.
That makes sense. I think it was just briefly throwing me off because I recall that, like, I got as far as, like, round 8 in Streets of Rage 2, which was basically right at the end anyway, like this elevator. But I think we're only on round 5. So, like, the actual stages themselves, like, the number designation is so much, like, different here.
Yeah, I think it's also because I think in easy mode, the shotguns you to a bad ending. I want to say that. But
that would make sense. Okay. Alright, let's
Yeah,
get this
as
elevator
far as-
going. Come on.
Alright, might as well tell you what some of the secret stuff is. Like, there's the one big one that I know of, and it's the one that's like people always talk about in this game. Is in the true ending, you do some a pseudo side thing, like you take a different route at some place, and you end up finding Mr. X as a robot with his brain in a robot now.
Oh, fucking
And
what?
Yeah, and it's a timed boss fight because he sets off a bomb, and you have to beat him and turn off the bomb afterwards.
Oh, wow. Okay,
Yeah,
come
and that's
on.
how you get the true ending.
I just gotta deal with these, including, like, I'm pretty sure, like, best to do the back throw just to ensure that, like, this one doesn't try and, like, play weak on the ground. There we go.
You'll be fine. You got 5 lives, and your score is high enough that you might get more lives.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Man,
Yeah, good thing you picked
Shiva's nuts.
Oh no, Shiva's great. And Shiva is also playable in 4, but with DLC only.
Okay,
Like,
so
the
part of
characters-
Mr. X Nightmare.
Yeah, Mr. X's Nightmare is Max, Shiva, and a new character added playable character. Max is not a playable character in base Streets of Rage 4. At
Okay,
least new Max is it. Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, which begs the question still, where's Skate?
Yeah.
Isn't Skate a boss fight?
Oh man. Maybe someday. Someday, Skate will get the justice he deserves.
Yeah, someday, give us Skate his own game, a spin-off.
Yeah, grown-up Skate.
Grown-up Skate.
Still rocking
Graduated
those
towards
rollerblades
skateboard.
after all these years.
Rollerblade? What about a skateboard? We can turn it into a Tony Hawk beat 'em up.
Oh man. Oh, the possibilities of that. Okay. Oh, look who it is. Mr. X.
Correct? Ah, you got here quickly, Axel. Welcome, gentlemen and lady.
Emphasizing
Uh,
and lady because there's only one.
Yeah, see, Mr. X, he is inclusive. He tries not to, like, misgender anybody.
Yeah.
Like, okay, gentleman and lady.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he employs, what, a clown gimp? I think he's pretty progressive.
Yeah. He's clearly giving a place to belong for these various people that were not able to keep, like, a normal professional job.
Yeah, those ostracized find their way into Mr. X's clutches.
Yeah.
Somehow, somewhere.
It's just the shame part of that also means literally resorting to acts of terrorism with these weird ass bombs.
So, what you're doing is you're basically playing the actual, what the final boss is like in Streets of Rage 1 and 2. So you fight a bunch of moves, and then Mr. X comes out with a fucking machine gun. Zombie gun. And starts shooting you in his wheelchair.
just thinking of Mr. X just like halfway through just going, so anyway, I started blasting.
I mean, that's all he does. All he does is blast.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. He doesn't look like the type of guy that would, like, care to, like, fight these people on their terms. He's got a gun. Why should he play by your rules? There we go. Just very effortlessly disposing of these henchmen and henchwomen. Oh.
Oh yeah, you get the robot here too.
This is the Terminator
Takes
with
people
pants.
down. Robo X.
Oh, yeah. And he laughs. He just laughs at you, the freaking bastard.
Yeah,
He's got-
instead of
wait,
a
he's got-
Tommy gun, no.
He's also got missiles, too. Holy shit. Okay, well, let's see. I got 4 lives. I can make this work. Ow. Ow, man. Okay, make that 3. Ow. I guess that is kind of impressive, just seeing how like those missiles like actually turn and track you across the entire field, even if it is a bit annoying to like properly account for.
That's not too bad. Like this is at the end of the Genesis. Like this is one of the last games that came out of the Genesis. First
that was.
wise, I want to say.
I felt pretty good about timing that that special to kind of power through some of his attacks. Almost on the ropes. Yo!
Yay!
Oh.
So we did beat all of Q4.
The villain surpassed by his henchmen.
Yep.
Now I control Wood Oak City, motherfucker. Okay.
Dr. Sam, I have splendid news for you.
Well, we're fucked.
Dr. Zen is also a robot. You'd think he'd get away with it. Oh yeah, there's 2 barriers.
Well done. You're gonna let us do that? Oh yeah, shoot, round 6 already. Oh wow, there's a countdown already. And just freaking hopping Ed 209s. That's great. So...
No, you press down.
Oh, right. I thought for some reason you were supposed to break them.
No, you go right after you do that.
Oh, my
Go
mistake.
Right. There's 2. You basically explore. This is an explorative level. This is where a Metroidvania now.
Oh my god. So...
No idea, dude. I think you beat them, maybe.
Yeah, because I can't hit those canisters. That animation, though. Oh, wait, maybe I just have to, like, beat these guys to get the way.
And you go into the door.
Oh, my God.
Here you just get shit. There's nothing but health and whatever.
This is insane.
Yeah,
like, I would...
The right room.
Like, this is insane in a way where I feel like, as I see it happen, I just go, like, this is the biggest example of what you were talking about, where they tried some things and they just didn't work out. I feel like this is the one where it's like, this has the level of ambition that I feel goes way beyond the scope, I feel, of what is reasonable for the kind of game fans of this generally want.
Yeah, that's why, like, it's easy to see why it's so divisive. Like, why some people love it the most, why some people hate it.
Yeah,
like,
especially
every element of it.
Especially because this is the kind of swerve that is ostensibly happening at the end of the game.
Yep.
Like, everything preceding it does not lead you to believe that it is anything like this.
Yeah, I think the most complimentary thing I can say about this game, even though I don't think I was too harsh on it in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Is, you throw that bomb at it, I think.
Oh, but no, I'm Shiva, so like I'm not able to use the weapons.
Oh yeah. You're
okay,
right.
so that's.
And now you go through the elevator again. Oh no, you go through here.
Oh wait.
Oh, you still need to go through the elevator down and go find the other place to shut down.
All right, at least like get rid of these guys so I can get my way back to the.
Yeah, like the most complimentary thing I can say about this game is it does not expect you. Yeah, go down.
Yeah, I was just making sure, remembering which arrow is situated where. Oh man, but I'm not gonna be able to.
It's basically, it does not stop. It's not afraid to be what it is. It tries everything.
Mm-hmm.
So At the very least, I can call it confident. It's a confident game. But whether that confidence turns you off or not,
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, at least we found the switch.
It's weird that Shiva is the one saving the day, but it's fucking funny as well.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, it's only because of this dude we were able to make it this far. And we're still probably gonna get all blown to Kingdom Come anyway. Okay, let's see. Nice. Yep, just keep punching. There we go.
I think head on up now to get to that guy.
Alright, yeah, because it is one switch per floor. We can just get rid of this last dude. There we go. And just make our way back up. Second floor. Dash right. The laser grid should still be down. There he is. And there. There, we triggered it. General Petrov, that you?
Gilbert? That his name is Gilbert.
Oh.
I don't know where Rakushin is. I'm gonna assume it's gonna be one of those weird lords.
It's
Nobody's a big fan of the series knows except for one guy who's really
It's the made-up element that was discovered in this game that Mr. X was using to create these bombs. Yeah.
Oh man.
It's real silly. Well, at least we stopped that.
Enjoying the Casio keyboard.
Man, just Yuzo going completely ham on it. Oh man.
Oh look, it's Zed from Street Fighter 2. There's an army of them.
Yeah. Let's see how far we get.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. This is the one you do the best at, but it's only because Shiva is like insanely OP.
Yeah.
Like the other characters.
And the funny thing, all things considered, is that like I wasn't even like deliberately trying to ensure that I unlocked Shiva. It just happened.
Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, I think you can unlock Shiva somehow, but it turns out you just have to beat him.
Yeah. The only one I remembered was you explaining like how to unlock Rue when we got to the boss fight with the Gimp Clown.
Yeah, because everybody remembers Rue. Rue is probably the most memorable part of the game.
Yeah. How many other games can you
think
point to where you can play as a kangaroo with boxing gloves? You know? Like, the most
And
others can remember is just Tekken.
Yeah, and it's like, it's also in such a way that's only Streets of Rage 3, right? It's like,
Yeah.
an optional thing you can do that you pick choose who to fight, and you can unlock a character. There's like so many elements like that in this game.
Whew. Alright, round 6 clear. And we're already at 3 hours, but you know, I think I might as well still see what more I can get, unless this is the end. I'm not even sure. We might be getting out.
Look, it's Adam!
Oh, it's our boy! Yo! Good to see you, man. I recognize that yellow shirt from anywhere.
I think you murdered a bunch of people.
Figured you've been on the sidelines long enough. You have. All the more reason why it's great you came back for 4.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, this is the thing you said, and there was no new game for 2 decades, so a bunch of people
Yeah.
have been clamoring for Adam forever.
So, you found the base? Alright. Seems to be in the Greenleaf District.
Oh yeah, there you find the secret actual real Mr. Actual Boss.
Actually, I'm thinking about it a bit more. You said that this game has, like, a different ending that, like, if you're playing on easy where it cuts it short, right?
I was sure of it, and even when I looked it up online and I said Streets of Rage 1, I was like, no, Streets of Rage 3. But I'm gonna go ahead and guess that's just Streets of Rage 3, not Bare Knuckle 3.
I
Maybe
was
Bare Knuckle
starting
3
to
never
think
had
that
that.
as well. Maybe that's just like a weird localization change on top of just all the dumb shit they did to try and deter game rentals.
Yeah,
I don't know,
hard
man.
fucking game, right?
Yeah. but oh my god. I should have noticed that was there.
But it itself is already really weird.
Yeah.
Its localization is weird. Its soundtrack is weird, and I don't dislike it. It's just
Ooh.
weird.
Bonito Nekogata rating with a party of 6. Nice.
Oh.
It's another
Hello.
VTuber. Thanks a ton. We're actually like, this is like right at the tail end of things. And now that you came in, like, now I feel even more obligated to kind of stream past my usual 3-hour limit. At least to see if we can actually get to the end of Streets of Rage 3.
Yeah, we're like on our last continue, and just went for Shiva for like a fun gag, but Shiva being as OP as he is, we ended up getting more lives and everything.
Yeah. Yep. And also for the new people coming in from the raid, this is my good friend, Wrath of Exodust. He's the biggest Streets of Rage fan I know. Sorry if his mic quality is noticeably different from mine. That's just how it is. I brought him in just because he's the guy I knew who would be good for this. Wait, rating with a party of 1. Okay, there seems to be a weird thing with the rating going on, but whatever. At least the viewer count's bumped up high, so that's something. It's got to help with the average once the VOD goes up. Yo. Hi, Bonito. Glad you could come by.
Howdy.
All right. Oh yeah. Oh, get your browser audio off. Oh, okay. Yeah. I was just explaining. We're at the tail end of Streets of Rage 3, just mopping things up with the boss character because, of course.
Yeah, we might as well. Like, this was a trip down the series, and it's kind of easy to do because, as y'all know, beat 'em ups, they're not very long games. They're meant to be pick up and play and die and then pick it up back up again.
Which is funny though, because this has proven to be the longest of all Streets of Rage games thus far. Like we got to near the end of 2 before all our continues were used up, and even then, it did not feel like it was going for quite as long a runtime.
Yeah, plus 2 is just a better game.
Oh yeah, better game because a
a
huge part of that is the pacing. Yeah, 3 hours in, like it's funny, the original plan, thinking about it, was that like, yeah, 3 hours, that's 1 hour per game. That's an easy enough goal, you know? At least as far as showing off everything we can do with the game's limited continue system. But yeah, 3's been surprising in just how much more packed it is with just the amount of crazy weird ideas.
Yeah, like, Streets of Rage 3 is an interesting, odd piece. It's like the weirdest game I can say was a sequel to a game I loved that I ended up liking, but not into in any real way. Like, I can't say I'm into Streets of Rage 3. I just kind of like it, as opposed to the rest of the series, which I adore. But it's the kind of game I still recommend to some people because it's idiosyncrasy.
Yeah.
It could appeal to you. Like,
yeah,
if you vibe with it, it could be your favorite game in the series. Because I know enough people who love it the most.
Yeah, also,
I just don't agree. Huh?
Also, Bonito bringing up like a good point that shows kind of similar feelings to what we've had by being surprised by the length. He apparently did like a Metroid marathon and forgot just how there's those specific bosses in Fusion that first time you go through them, they take quite a lot more attempts than you realize.
Fusion was like the first step towards getting more action in post-Dread.
Oh yeah.
So that does make sense. Plus, didn't like Mercury Steam want to remake Fusion initially?
Yeah, that was like the first pitch they had not even for what became Dread. It was more like they pitched that even, I think, back when, like, before they did Samus Returns. That was like a funny thing. But yeah. Fusion, what a great Metroid game.
Yeah, Fusion is good. I'm on Team Fusion is good. Like, anybody that says, oh, it was other M too. I was like, nah, man, it executes everything. It is fine. Other M just did it really badly.
Yeah.
Like everything else it does.
Absolutely.
Oh, man.
Okay.
Hell, so, you and a bunch of your buddies did a Metroid month. Nice. Like, direct the spirit into everybody's heart, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Whereas, like, I did my own Metroid month in the sense that I dedicated all my November streams to the Metroid Prime trilogy, which I felt real glad that I was able to ultimately finish up Prime 3 right before December started. Like, it just turned out that way, and that just worked out super well.
Yeah, man. So, Ark, I thought I'd ask you something, because this isn't the first time either I or you talk about Streets of Rage. Hell, I got you to play Streets of Rage initially.
Yes, it was like the Genesis Ultimate Collection or whatever it's called, that is like, you could get it like on Switch or PS4 and all that has like a bunch of like defining Sega Genesis games.
Yeah, and to those like watching, so me and Ark, this was like about, I want to say, a year or 2 years ago. It's been a while. Like, COVID times, we can't tell time.
Yeah, I want to say at the very least it was, I think in my mind it was 2018, because I recall, I forget, did you join the DMC Discord wherein, like, in the months prior to DMC 5 coming out? Because I want to say you did.
Yeah.
Then it was 2018. Because
yeah,
2018 December was also when I first got my Switch. I was still getting games for it after playing through Mario Odyssey, and then like the collection came up that I was like, yeah, I'll put $30 down for this.
Yeah, and we made a bet, me and Ark. Like, we decided to, like, basically, he's a big Treasure fan. I'm a big fan of beat 'em ups and Streets of Rage, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, hey, you play through them. Streets of Rage and Golden Axe, I think I got you to play through.
Yes.
And I would play the treasure games. I played the treasure games for the first time because, as much as I was a Genesis kid, I never had Dynamite Heady, I never had Gunstar Heroes, or nobody had Alien Soldier.
Yeah, no one had Alien Soldier except Japan.
Pretty much. So I played through those, I enjoyed them, and I remember Ark played through Streets of Rage 1 and 2, and he's more of a Guardian Heroes guy when it comes to beat 'em ups, because he prefers beat 'em ups with some RPG type system, right?
Yeah, it was both the RPG type system combined with it was a lane-based movement system.
As well, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what I wanted to ask, oh no, this thing just happened anyway.
Oh,
NetX.
NetX.
Anyway, so as we were saying, so at the time you were like, no, I can see why people like Streets of Rage 2, but it's not up there for me. So what I wanted to ask, going on this marathon so far, has your opinion changed? To get more positive, to get more negative? Like, how do you feel about the Streets of Rage series as a whole now?
Definitely more positive. I still think Guardian Heroes is going to remain unmatched for me, but I think it also, is more positive for me in comparison to the few other beat 'em ups I have played and found reason to enjoy for one reason or another, which I realized those reasons I enjoyed them were less so for what the gameplay offered. Because when I think of other beat 'em ups I've tried in the past, like, one that comes to mind is Double Dragon Neon. Like, game that, admittedly, I'm not playing in a while, so I don't have the most updated, like, opinion on how that gameplay was, but even then at the time, I was like, yeah, this is serviceable, but I'm in it for the goofy 80s cartoon vibe.
Yeah.
Alright, last life. Can we make it happen?
Yeah, you can make it happen.
Yeah, come on. Just get the... I gotta land one special if I can. Or just random punches.
Yeah. I guess to... No, you got it. You got it.
Oh dear, oh dear. Serious time.
You got it.
Oh no. His patterns. Okay. No.
Hit you with a Hurricanrana.
Oh,
Oh well. Oh,
so close to the finish line.
the meta narrative of this stream is: how does Ark feel about the general beat 'em up? Not the beat 'em up with a gimmick. They beat 'em up with its own system that's kind of not as shared with others, like say Garden Heroes with the link system and for the RPG mechanics, or other RPGs that have more not RPGs, other beat 'em ups that have more RPG mechanics. How do you feel now about the general arcadey pick up and play, pick your character, try to get through till the very end, don't run a continuous beat 'em up? Has that changed?
I definitely think it has. But I think a lot of it is changed in the sense that I think I know now that like my rotation as far as like beat 'em ups I'm willing to play has slightly extended in the sense that it's almost exclusively going to be just because of Streets of Rage. Like I don't think it's going to get me necessarily to go, oh, now I want to try out all these other beat 'em ups that came out around the same era, because I feel that'll lead to like a different result, which is burnout.
Not just burnout, you'll be fucking drowning in them. There's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think this is the one where it's like, I absolutely see where Streets of Rage goes for across all these three games, you know, weird sections of 3 aside, you know, as we've seen, that it's like, it is traditional to the core. And I think I am on the side of people that say that when it comes to traditional beat 'em up qualities, it does it as some of the best among its contemporaries.
Yeah, so it makes sense why Streets of Rage, seemingly, like people love Final Fight, so I'm not gonna denigrate Final Fight.
Admittedly, my appreciation for Final Fight really is just limited only to its characters instead of like its gameplay. Just because you think about across, because you think about across all those games, combined with the fact that those characters also got incorporated into the Street Fighter canon itself.
Yep, and Streets of Rage, seemingly for a lot of people, partly because it used to be a first-party series, it was locked to a console. There was kind of a rivalry back then, but you can kind of see now why, out of all the beat 'em ups, Streets of Rage seems to get most of the talk from back then. Not just like Sega nerds, not just like kids who had a Genesis. It's like a generally beloved series, one of Sega's most beloved. It's kind of apparent now, especially apparent why Streets of Rage 3 is also divisive within that fan base.
Especially when it's like, this is the game that follows up on just a game like Streets of Rage 2, where it feels like it has all these pieces that just land into place neatly.
Yeah,
you know,
just
pacing, graphics,
yeah.
Soundtrack consistency, you know, just the right level of complexity of moves. Because, like, some of the extra stuff they add here is neat, but I'll be honest, outside of really demonstrating it early on, it really was difficult to find, like, any practical use for that, like, foreground and background role.
And now you get why I say DMC2-ness.
Yes.
DMC2 had all these dodges, all this different attacks, but none of them really apply to anything. There's no design purpose behind them.
But of course,
they're
nowhere near as a broken disaster as DMC2.
Oh yeah, nowhere near.
Would never
I wouldn't compare
go
this
that.
game to that outside of so that's why for me, like going into Streets of Rage 4, which we're gonna be playing soon. When you'd like to set it up, Streets of Rage 4, notably to this is before it came out, divisively for some, decided to build on Streets of Rage 2, not 3.
Yes.
For some, a lot of the argument was, but in 3 you can run all over and you had a dodge roll. How can you have a beat 'em up that doesn't have those? Now, I'm glad you did this. As a guy who just played both, running everywhere and having a dodge roll, do you see that as necessary in this series?
I don't. No, I do not.
Like, that's why whenever I see that argument, whenever people bring it up, which go into Streets of Rage 4, you'll see, like, why it's kind of weird. It's just, they weren't the best ideas. They were neat ideas, but they weren't implemented the best, and they weren't utilized
Yeah.
the best. Like
Plus,
you could
yeah.
use them, but whatever.
Yeah, plus I also think about it, going back to Guardian Heroes again, because I'll always be down to shill for that game as my favorite beat 'em up. But even thinking about like what its closest analog to those moves we talked about, it doesn't have necessarily like a dedicated dodge roll mechanic, but you can think of the lane switching as being the equivalent of that. But it's also easier to see how lane switching as a dodge combined with the fact that you can run easily by just double tapping makes so much more sense in the context of that game because you have the limited planes to move across. Because thinking about it, like it's the sort of thing where I also see more now why the speed of like these classic beat 'em ups are the way they are when it comes to player movement.
Yeah,
Because yeah,
pacing.
yeah, pacing, because it's like, cool, you have the ability to run, but in that kind of belt scrolling 2D beat 'em up where you can freely move in and out of the background, like on a granular level, unless that run allows you to essentially do like an 8-way run anywhere on the screen, then like, what is even the point of it? Because I
Yeah,
think
plus
that's what I realized was the ultimately like limiting factor about it.
plus in a game where you're gonna be locked to a screen once enemies pop up.
That too, yeah.
Yeah, like it does. It's not the worst, but it's just not the best ideas. You're gonna try the fighting game mode.
It's weird, actually. Just gotta look at. I just wanted to check what that was because, yeah, I guess that is what battle's supposed to be. Because yeah, there's 1 player, 2 player, and I was like, what the hell's battle mode? I don't even
No,
think I
it's
can
in Street.
access it unless I specifically go into BizHawk emulator options and like set all the keys for the player 2 controller.
Yeah, in Streets of Rage 2, it was added because, as
Mm-hmm.
I told you, they got
Right.
really into Street Fighter.
Yeah.
So they're like,
Right.
oh, we
Yeah.
might as
Because
well
it
have
had
a
the
fighting game mode.
Yeah, it had the option on the menu. It wasn't called Battle, but it was called Duel, which, it was essentially the same thing.
Yeah, but yeah, Streets of Rage, excellent series.
Yeah.
Ends on a note that is mildly disappointing, especially to people at the time. Like late Genesis game
Mm-hmm.
follows up on pretty much the best game in the series,
Yeah.
design wise, presentation wise, music wise, everything.
And
And
also, even in the context of other notable late Genesis games at the time, even that feels like it's like not firing on all cylinders as some of those others.
yeah, it's not the beat 'em up genre felt like, especially 2D beat 'em up genres, felt like it was phasing out around that time as well. So it felt like kind of near the cusp of where the genre stops being as common as it used to be, where
Mm-hmm.
this series basically ends on this. The Genesis ends, the era for Streets of Rage ends, and it's why when talked about like Streets of Rage 2 is always brought up with love. Streets of Rage 3 is always a longer discussion. You got people
Yes.
talk about whether they appreciate the differences or not, whether the things they try to do work or not, whether those things are valuable just for being there or whether they should be implemented better. I'm more of a they should have been implemented better type of guy.
I
And
agree.
again, I'm not gonna call it a bad game. It's not a bad game.
Mm-hmm.
At worst, it's a generic beat 'em up with neat ideas.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's fine. Like it's a 6 compared to what is call me a hyperbolic nerd. What is a 10 and an 8? Because I actually like Streets of Rage 1's simplicity a lot, and I
Yeah.
think it works for it.
Yeah, I guess how I'd rate rank them since I naturally go by the 5-star scale of review. It's like first game is a 4 out of 5, 2 is a 5 out of 5, 3 is a 3 out of 5.
Nice. And hey, you love Streets of Rage 2. That's good to know. Because I
Yeah,
remember you're like, oh, I got to the baseball. It's a really, really good game, but I still don't know about it. 2 years later, I got you loving it.
yeah,
So personal win for me.
mm-hmm. And that better late than never, considering I got you on like the Genesis treasure hype train. After all.
Yeah, like, dude, I tried to speedrun Alien Soldier for a while. It was tough, but hey,
Yeah.
it's a fun game.
Yeah, it's got that quality about it that is like, man, it's not just like a hard as balls action game. It's an action game that wants you to be as lightning fast as you can.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. And speaking of
Oh,
getting
hey,
others to play games we like, hopefully it won't be long until you get back to that personal playthrough of Sin and Punishment.
oh yeah, I should get back to that. It's just, it's literally the worst way I can play it.
Yeah,
Because I
yeah,
don't have
Switch
a
Online
64
is not
controller.
ideal.
It's the worst way I can play it because I don't have that N64 controller that they put out for the Switch. I'm thinking I might get it, if only even to play the shitty version of Ocarina of Time. Because to be
Oh,
honest, the 64 controller doesn't translate well to any other controller.
yeah.
So it'd be nice to like try it with the controller it's meant for, like Sin and
Mm-hmm.
Punishment, even with all like the bad frame stuff, and try to learn the mechanics because it's a treasure game. There's
Yeah.
always more to it
Yeah.
than meets the eye.
Gav and I did like give our explanations to you in Discord, which I think like he, funny enough, like responded as he writes the abstract, I write the thesis notes. Because he just had
Pretty
like a
much.
one sentence description of like how to play, but then I just, because I am the kind of treasure fan I am, I just broke down in paragraphs like the important things to remember about how to excel at Sin and Punishment.
Hey, it's nice to have because when
Hmm.
I get on it again, I can just like read through that and make sure I know what I know before jumping in. But
Yeah,
yeah, hey man, we got all this done. You got through all of Streets of Rage,
yeah,
but to this point, not Fury Road yet, which
yeah.
I
With
can't
yeah,
wait to see your reaction to now. By the way,
yeah. For Streets of Rage 4,
what?
but also I think just one extra thing I reminded myself about that I still have installed. I think it's only
What?
fair that for the Streets of Rage 4 stream, I should dedicate at least 15 to 20 minutes to Streets of Camarocho.
All right, if you want to. I've
Yeah.
never seen it. I
Yeah.
know it has basically, uh, it's basically the first level of Streets of Rage over and over again. It's just that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
how I
from the
can explain
screenshots I
it.
saw like posted on Steam, like especially based on what I know now about all these games back to back, like the sprite quality and like the sprite size in particular for the characters is very Streets of Rage 1.
Yeah, and hey, man, like, it's great that you played through all three before jumping into four.
Yeah.
The Streets of Rage 4 is very specifically, obviously, like, it's a great game for people who never played Streets of Rage. So if you never played any Streets of Rage game and you're thinking about picking up 4, pick it up.
Mhm.
But for a guy who just went through one, two, three, having it fresh in his memory, it is made like a labor of love. Like those games, that era, like it works out. Like there's a few things in there that I have to tell you about
Oh.
as they're happening and tell you to do. No, it's not Streets of Rage 3 levels. Don't worry. You won't have an elevator where you have to go up and down and shit.
Oh my
Nothing like
god.
that. Like its stage hazards and everything are better thought out. The level design in Streets of Rage 4 is actually excellent for a beat 'em up. Some
Yeah.
of the best. But there's stuff in there that is kind of secret, but they're easy to understand and get.
Yeah.
That I can't wait to show you when we get to that.
I mean,
All right?
I'm already looking forward to the gameplay detail. You told me that, like, when you start comboing an enemy, like, they don't get knocked off the screen, so you can basically wall bounce and juggle them easily. Like,
Yeah.
I am excited for the potential of that. And also, maybe just to get you in the mood for it as well. In case you missed, I don't know, like, how much you, like, have been still keeping up with, like, the VODs that go up on my channel, but, like, the stream archive for Spike Out Battle Street is still up and is on my YouTube as well. So if you kind of want to see me, like, I guess, struggle through it as well, because it was funny when I set up that stream that I was like, yeah, I'm going to play through the entire story mode as like the first stream for Battle Street before realizing, oh wait, these levels are kind of hard, and if you die once, you have to do the entire level all over again. There's no continues like this game. So
All right.
I ended up
I
having to
will.
just demonstrate each level as much as I could while in between like going into the training mode just to lab with some characters and show off the combo potential, as well as like
Right.
the game's like version of arcade mode. It's cool. It like I think especially with not just with obviously me getting this trilogy of games fresh in my mind, but you also see me go through it again and the evolution of it again. You can also, I think, get a better understanding, appreciation of how much Spike Out was just drawing from all the things that worked in Streets of Rage.
For sure, man. For sure. All right. One last question.
Hmm.
When's the beat down Fist of Vengeance stream? Hello?
Oh my God. uh,
I'm joking around. All right. I kept you up for a bit long. Streets of Rage 3 kept you up for a bit
yeah,
long.
yeah. Let's be real. Streets of Rage 3 kept us both up longer than we ever thought. That
Yeah,
that really
man.
is
All right.
crazy to think that that freaking like easy mode only ending really was just something they crammed into the English version.
Yeah, man. Like, I don't even know if I'm correct anymore. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought that
Hmm.
was a thing. Internet tells me it's a thing. I
I don't
don't
know.
know.
I
But
think maybe you might be right, if only because it's like when it comes to writing, like if there's gonna be details of any game that has multiple versions, chances are most are always gonna source the English version because that's just the most widespread language.
for sure. All right. So this is my first time hosting a co-stream with my good buddy Ark. It was a lot
Mm-hmm.
of fun. Thanks for everybody who watched it. Sorry about my mic quality, but I ain't got no mic. I'm using this MacBook. That's all I got, guys.
Yeah,
But
which you'll only have to deal
hopefully,
with at least one more time when it comes to Streets of Rage 4, which I'm going to say just to keep with the time zone that we kind of like or like a scheduled time that we agreed upon, because I think like this evening time for me works out best with like you over on your side of the world. So this coming Wednesday,
yeah.
I think would be like the best like earliest time that we could get in on Streets of Rage 4.
All right, man. Just as always, DM me on Discord and we'll talk about it. But yeah,
Yeah.
this was fun. My first time on a fucking stream. Hopefully, I wasn't too weird or rambly, but hey,
Yeah.
we're
Uh
rambly
yeah.
motherfuckers. It's
Nah,
the
it
channel.
yeah, I mean I'm rambly as well, but at least you're also like unlike me, a VTuber, you are basically the closest to what could be considered the normal person.
Jury's out on that one. But yeah, all right.
Like I said again, VTubers, it's almost like a prerequisite for people in this position that they have to be some level of lewd. I think even you are not to that level yet. Yeah, normal in quotes. Bentar gets me. He knows what I'm talking about.
Sure, sure. I'll accept normal for now until
Yeah,
I have my own degenerate VTuber to put up. All
yeah.
right.
Just get your own animated version of Axel, and have that as your avatar.
I don't know. I ain't about that life. I'm sorry. I ain't
Okay.
about it.
Or just any character that would be like you look at its design and be like, this is old school beat 'em up inspired as hell. I mean, mine's already like, at least with my upcoming model, if I get the time and money to get it rigged, you're gonna see is like very very go Nagai looking.
That's gonna be nice. That's gonna be interesting.
Yeah,
All
a
right,
lot of things
man.
I'm hopeful for going into next year, and even then, just with the streams I've been doing, I've been feeling especially proud of because they're like a lot more time and effort put into them because working towards affiliate, I'm getting so close. The
Yeah.
viewer average since this month has been doing a lot better, and I'm actually only 4 followers away from like the 50 that Twitch counts towards affiliate status. So who knows? Maybe sometime later this week, or I'll just like put like a random Twitter post up or so where it's like, hey, anyone willing to be the lucky 4 to push me over the edge? Who knows?
Hey, man. Best of luck. I'm sure you'll get it. You've been putting in the effort, and it shows, man. All
Yeah,
right. It's been a long one. I've kept you 30 minutes late. But
yeah,
we know you. You like a tight schedule. It hasn't been tight enough, it seems. But
Yeah,
hey,
generally been better about that on other times, if only but like, I don't know. I imagine like we've not been like shouting and raving a lot, so I don't think I have anything to worry about like waking up my sister or anything since she kind of has to go to bed a lot earlier because of her work. But it's all
yeah,
good. This was ultimately still a fun ride, and that's what counts.
hell yeah, man, hell yeah. I'm try to get me some food because it's 9 a.m. over here.
Yep,
9:30.
9:30 all the way over in Saudi Arabia.
All right, man. You have a good one.
You too. Same for everyone else. Thanks, a special thanks again to Bonito for the raid, just giving that extra viewer boost right near the end. You
Yeah,
take
man.
care,
Thanks,
everyone.
everyone. Yep. See ya.